afternoon. Welcome to Thought Crimes. This is your girl, Sincere, and welcome to Thought Crimes Blackout stream. So, Starmer, who is the current Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, has basically talked about his concerns of Ye headlining the Wireless Festival. Now, I want to make this very clear. I do not defend anybody, including Ye. I mentioned this before, even to his number one supporters, Strategy King, even to some people in his camp who know him. I've already voiced my thoughts of Ye, and I'm not cool with the KKK stuff, the Nick Fuentes stuff, not my cup of tea. And I'm not going to try to be some fake person to get along with a celebrity and people in their camp. That being said, I think it's a high level of hypocrisy for the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom to talk about how he's worried about Ye headlining the Wireless Festival when he is in the Epstein files. A lot of people with dirty hands are always the first to judge on who should be canceled or who should be monitored. Starmer should be thinking about those who are in the Epstein files, including himself. And he should be vigilant on investigations being done on everybody in the Epstein files that are over there in the UK. As Ariel Smoke also stated in the chat, this is insane level of hypocrisy. And it is. What's up, Ree? I do think that there are a lot of people who suck up to celebrities. I think even people who have interviews or conversations with, Ye, and they don't ask them, what was this about with the Klan hoodie, the Nick Fuentes stuff, who Nick Fuentes called Jeffrey Epstein a Chad. Just want to let people know Nick Fuentes is infatuated with Jeffrey Epstein. And he personally believed Jeffrey Epstein didn't do anything wrong, even though Jeffrey Epstein is a notorious pedophile. But Nick Fuentes said that he would marry a 16-year-old himself while being at the age of in his late 20s or 30. So all this comes full circle. But again, Starmer himself is still being a high-level hypocrite here. Being in the Epstein files, and also Pepsi, because I do not know what Pepsi's talking about. Like Pepsi acting like it's a brand of virtue, and it's not. Pepsi has backed a lot of terrible people. So this to me is gang faction stuff. When you get people from the underworld, mafias, people a part of certain circles who are not morally righteous, using morality as the shield to try to knock somebody out of the game, which is what is pretty much going on here. So let's go look at Starmer real quick, because he was in the Epstein files. Let's see exactly for what. Also, Jane, what's up? Jane is in the building. Nice to see you here. All right. So based on the documents released in March 2026, UK Prime Minister Starmer's government was warned of reputational risk before appointing Peter as the UK ambassador, right? Peter Mandelson. And also the UK ambassador to the United States in late 2024 due to his relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Now, Starmer did apologize to the Epstein victim, stating he was sorry for having, believed Peter's lies and regarding the depth of his relationship with Epstein. Apologizing is good, but one still looked at you suspiciously. You know, anyone who have any type of connection to Epstein, I would be like, nah, I can't hire you. You overlooked that. You was trying to get somebody you mess with a position of power, and you got caught with your hand in the cookie jar. What's up, Pop Fan 246? Nick is a basement loser. Of course, he worshipped Jeffrey. If he never went into politics, he'd be a Discord moderator. Absolutely. And remember, it was Laura Loomer, Ben Shapiro, and those types that gave Nick his upstart career. The same Ben Shapiro and Jeremy who's crying about Candace Owens right now. You know, a lot of conservative pick them, don't they? You know, also with PragerU, who they're trying to tell people what is the true history on slavery by lying. So don't they know how to pick them? They pick people with upstanding character. Jane said they're all trying to deflect from their own disgusting behavior. Ariel says the only way you believe Peter is if you are implicated or want those connections. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Peter, man, the things that was in the Epstein files pertaining to Peter was pretty damn bad. It was pretty grotesque, you know. So I just wanted to say that this is not a defense of Ye. This is a question of, in society, why are people with dirty hands literally pretending that they have moral character? It's really sickening. Why can't y'all just admit that y'all are the demons that y'all truly are? And I actually am getting tired of the fake civility of a lot of criminals in high places of society. We don't need to pretend. You don't need to pretend. You don't need to pretend to be a person of moral character. You know, the mask is already off, especially for a lot of the people who are in the Epstein files. And this is also not to co-sign Ye either. I do believe that even in a lot of people are just cowards. You know, it's fine if you like kids bully, but to co-sign through Ye, to not ask no serious questions about the Nick thing, about him and his wife wearing Klan hoods, you know, it goes back to the conversation Prince and I had yesterday in the Blackout stream. We can dissect a Jay-Z album, but at the same time, we can also dissect Jay-Z's legacy, the good and the bad, and pertaining to, you know, the Barclay and the We Passed Kneeling, and even what the stuff he said in the GQ magazine about battling and DJing and all this stuff. These are components that are no longer needed or no longer utilized in hip hop culture, right? It's like the only problem with the people, the people who are fans of the art, the only problem with those people is the lack of ability to mentally multitask. Your brain is elastic enough to be able to dissect the music from these people and the art from these people, while also ask critical questions and serious questions about some of the weird behavior and decisions these people make. No one on this planet is not to be worshipped. I don't know what people are doing. Happy Sunday, Easter, everyone. What's up, Space in the building? That's right. Happy Sunday to everyone who's also celebrating that. Happy Resurrection as well. Shout out to Sweet in the chat. But I just don't understand why people can't multitask pertaining to this. I don't think the Black community actually got a real apology also from Ye as well. Again, we gave T.I. credit for him apologizing for the Iggy scam that he was a part of, because Iggy Azalea was a scam. And T.I. apologized for it. He said it's a blemish on his legacy. He said he shouldn't have done that. He should have, picked somebody out from ATL, picked somebody out from Georgia, to put his energy behind when he was in his prime. What's up, Black McBain? So that's just my thoughts on the Ye thing. I do think that
think people are capping.
I think
you should have got a pat, right?
Yeah, I don't Pepsi stepping. I like trying to say they're not going to support the Wireless Festival because they
were originally part of it, right?
Yeah, being the headliner. I think
it's a marketing ploy,
and they step it down because of what UK Prime Minister Starmer said.
Starmer in the Epstein files.
Yeah, I think Pepsi stop being people. Stop it.
Man.
But at the same time, I also was telling people that I think that people not addressing the Nick thing and the KKK robes and all that, and how we're celebrating terrorists who have killed Black men, women, and children. I don't know why anyone in the Black community think that's something to overlook. These are people who are requesting that the U.S. government give Black people less resources because you're dumb. Nick backs Jeffrey Epstein, who said Black people should not get resources because they're dumb. A big jug-headed white man who was having sex with children, who never invented anything, had the audacity to say that. And then Nick, who has never came up with anything original. So these things I do find to be very interesting.
What's up, everybody? The Pepsi situation is a marketing ploy. They intentionally aligned themselves with the Kanye festival to show like, oh, we're edgelords. They were always going to pull out for brand. It's the morality branding. I cannot be a part of this. I'm going to go play basketball for China.
What's up, Steve Simmons? I know.
That's all they're doing, y'all. It's really, that's what, honestly, there are no good characters in this fight. They're all bad. They're all terrible. All right. There are no good characters. Again, if you like Ye and his snow globe, that's perfectly fine. I don't really care, but I damn sure ain't picking no side in this. You got one guy that's trying to hide or trying to talk around the fact about the Epstein files. The only reason why he condemning Ye because he in them Epstein files. And they told his ass, you got to move your pale butt. And he says, you know what? I vehemently disagree with Kanye West. You can't get no clout no other way. And the general public, let's be real, y'all. Kanye then wore out the public like Diddy used to do remixes. All right, there ain't really no energy in any of this.
We have a super chat from Ariel, and also K-pop talked about. So Pepsi did the same thing Ludacris did with Kid Rock tour. Yes, but also remember, Pepsi at one time tried to cancel Ludacris. And
he lost his deal.
Where Bill O'Reilly, who actually had rape cases, had came out against Ludacris and created this controversy. Somebody with dirty hands, right? He threw rocks at Luda. Luda had lost his Pepsi deal.
He lost his Pepsi sponsorship, and that's when he had, actually was making big time money.
And Pepsi listened to someone who had their own rape cases. Yeah. And I don't think it was a rape case for Luda. He got canceled by Pepsi because of something else.
No, Luda got canceled with explicit
lyrics or something else.
like that because Chris Rock was crying to Jay Leno about it. Like, oh, it's hard to defend this stuff. I says, move, bitch. It's not hard to, there's nothing to defend. I mean, anything past Luther Campbell, what are we talking about here? Now, you talking about a dedicated, unfiltered, big biscuit-headed Irishman who got all types of situations with himself. Not only that, Roger Ailes, who put the biscuit-headed Irishman on TV, he had a bunch of sexual assault cases.
Yeah, Roger Ailes, Rush Limbaugh, and also Bill O'Reilly, all three of them were trying to destroy Ludacris' career. And Pepsi dropped Luda, even though he didn't have no sexual assault case. But Pepsi had nothing to say pertaining to Bill O'Reilly and his rape, and his rape cases.
Megyn Kelly came out with her line crying ass talking about Roger Ailes flipped her upside down. So look, it's all theatrics. Also, shouts out to Ariel Smoke. He says, I was listening to last night's stream. Prince's spot on. Jay was never the same after we passed kneeling. I didn't like him before and more so after. Yeah, Sid and I, we was just talking about that. You know, he just never was the same after that. Really, that's what Jay-Z is trying to really recover from. It's not having to do with people just not liking the guy. We passed kneeling. That was a bad note to hit. But going back to Pepsi ain't have no clout since they had that little Mexican girl in them videos talking about bum, 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 bum. Nobody remember. The last time Pepsi was like really hot on the block, Kurt Russell had a strong career.
Pepsi be burning people's throat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nobody care about Pepsi pulling out of anything. I don't care if they pull out of prostitutes. Don't nobody care about Pepsi. Listen to Pepsi trying to act like, you know, they water. You know, oh, this is where we draw the line.
Well, they also try to use Starmer's concerns as an opportunity to drop. And I have no respect for Pepsi. I'm so glad I put that.
They know Starmer. Prebiotic can of Pepsi back earlier today.
They know that Starmer is in the Epstein files along with his buddy Peter. They know that people who they've supported, there's people who they've supported that's even worse than Ye. And so that's why I was saying earlier in the Blackout stream, what's up, Robbie? The moral grandstanding is disgusting because it doesn't exist. Stop lying. You know, stop pretending that you actually care. You don't.
No, they don't care. Pepsi, I saw it yesterday. I didn't even post that. I didn't even put it on our Patreon. I said, oh, dried up Pepsi trying to make a statement about nothing, you know, and Pepsi talking about, first of all, y'all got to understand the reason why Pepsi fell off like Doritos and the damn Chihuahua from Taco Bell. All of that stuff then died in Y2K. Let me tell you why. You sticking your chest out to us Americans about shit with the Brits. We don't care. Who said we care what concert you support of Ye in Europe? If we see the clip on YouTube, some will like it, some won't. But we don't care what stance you taking on across seas. Americans don't care. You should have did that in Los Angeles.
Right. To me, if you ain't saying anything about the Los Angeles one, then what is it to say about the UK? Like, come on.
Yeah. Most Americans don't even know where he performing at. Do we know he performing somewhere in Europe?
Act Your Age said Pepsi virtue signaling. They are virtue signaling.
And that's signal weak.
Very weak. If this was
a crack back signal.
Sometimes I think the public can be hypocrites. If I see someone who has a like 90-something% average of moral consistency and integrity, then I would have been like, we cooking with grease. Let's have the discussion. How you cannot be worse than the person you trying to morally spank. You like once you in the Epstein files, you're connected to the highest level of depravity when it comes to morality, meaning you cannot criticize anyone. Now, let's say if Starmer never hired Peter, let's say if Starmer wasn't in the Epstein files, right? Let's say if he was just a complete square and he had his concerns. All right, fair enough. But you're not. You're not. You're a criminal with glasses.
It don't matter how many crushed soda cans stand up. Y'all still tired in them files with them babies. Because at this point in time, see, I don't really care who is defending or standing up against Kanye West. Black people told y'all 10 years ago about him. We done. Y'all just don't have no more content.
Well, the Black Hollywood people are back on board, but this also shows another form of hypocrisy. People are even bringing up Jason Lee. And some people in FBA and ADOS are asking questions too. And other groups are asking questions. They said, for example, how y'all canceling or trying to cancel Nicki Minaj if all of Black Hollywood went to the show, Ye show. Even Chloe, who's supposed to be close with Beyonce and cool with Jay-Z and them.
You talking about Chloe, the one with that dot on her
Chloe
forehead?
Bear. Yeah, she was over there at the show in LA.
Yeah, they said, yeah, she was over there twerking in the camera.
Yeah, this whole Trump thing is now, that part has split the Red Sea because people have become major hypocrites on that. So there's some celebrities, they be like, yeah, get them, who pro-Trump. And then other Black celebrities who are pro-Trump, they're like, yeah, I don't got nothing to say. Well, then what the fuck are you talking about? Either you gonna be real across the board.
You know what I said.
And any Black barbecue fingers is over there with Trump, you got something to say, or just shut up.
I think they should just shut up. Because let's be real. Y'all know what I told y'all about. The only thing they beat up on in hip hop is them women. Now, I really believe Nicki Minaj is Rita Repulsa reincarnated.
Reincarnated?
Yeah, I do believe that. I believe she is.
What you call her Nigga Minaj?
Yeah, I believe Nigga Minaj is Rita Repulsa. But the only reason why I have my jokes, but I don't trigger nothing going because they back over there sucking Kanye West kneecaps, which I knew they would. Me and Sin talk to each other. I said, all he got to do is throw on a dope show and you're going to see everybody back over there.
But that's why Strategy King be so smug. He be like, sometimes I feel like he talks with marbles in his hands.
He had to show.
So he had to, but I remember when Strategy called and he said, yeah, well, you know, all this moral stuff, it's just outrage for money and to cancel competitors. Ye and I, we don't care about that. We like to leave it to the peons to fight about what is good and what is bad, you know, blah, 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 blah,
y'all
right?
know Strategy King, y'all know he still owns a Xeno on the DVD set. So you know he ain't got nothing to do but call up his partner, come in the chat every now and then, holler at us and leave.
What's up, Judah, in the building? Same things happen with Demo Rats too. No, that is absolutely true. So tell the whole side of the stories, and we always do. I think people y'all
just black out when we talk about it.
I think people gotta calm down. Like when Democrats are being destroyed, people say, what about Republicans? And when Republicans are being destroyed, people say, what about Democrats? Who said the Democrats were good people? And this is I'm gonna be honest, this is the problem. Both the Democrats and Republicans both voted to have statues of Charlie Kirk. They both play for the same team.
Yeah, they call it it's a duopoly.
Right. So
that's all it is. It's a duopoly.
And people think about two teams. That's all they think about. So I'll give you an example.
Lakers versus Celtics.
Even when it comes to the big three, right? If you criticize Drake, then that means you must be pro Kendrick. If you have some criticism from Kendrick, then that means you're pro Drake. People got to stop thinking in that type of way because that's how people pimp y'all. Yeah, you can, just because you're criticizing and focus on a particular person this particular day because they're in a news cycle doesn't mean somehow you don't see all of the flaws pertaining to somebody else or some other celebrity or some other political party.
Yeah, they just, you know what's saying. And realistically.
No, I have to too, because usually I think because people go through media platforms that do that. So you'll have a lot of them that do you'll have like Toure, like you'll have media platforms that be all pro Democrat and criticize the Republican Party, but when Democrats do the same thing as Republicans, they don't have nothing to say. Or they'll be on platforms that be kissing up to Republicans, and then when Democrats do the same things as Republicans, they have nothing to say. Even Ma'am Donnie recently had to apologize because when he said who helped build this country, he said he did not mention Black Americans or mention the slaves.
That's why Drake followed him.
That built up this country. Try to free the slaves.
Yeah. Right? He look like a pudgy Drake. Fat bloated head.
Madani do look like Drake's cousin. But
yeah, you do, man.
But the whole thing is, I'm not gonna tell y'all what to do because y'all all are adults. But when y'all come to Thought Crime's platform, try not to think in those type of ways where it's just about two different sides. Try to be a little bit more nuanced with this because we've consistently talked about the L's from every angle when it comes to the Republicans and the Democrats. And also when it comes to these public figures, like what we're talking about right now with Starmer and what we're talking about with Ye. There are a lot of people who have every right to criticize Ye for the what we call the Ye's stance.
What do we call them?
What is it?
Yeezites, something like that. You got to get letters, but what do we call them? The Yiddish, the Yahtzees?
Okay, Crowan said the Yahtzees.
Yeah.
All right. There are people who have every fucking right to criticize Ye.
Yeah.
To the bodyguards, who the fuck do you think you are? That people cannot criticize bullshit when they fucking see it. Just because you on his dick don't mean everybody else got to be. On the same token, though, Starmer and Pepsi pretending to be moralists, they're using Ye for clout because he is famous and he's globally recognized. So Starmer and Pepsi, like what someone said earlier, Age said earlier, is virtue signaling because they want to use Ye for clout. Not because they morally care, because Starmer was in Epstein files, his homeboy Peter was in the Epstein files, and Pepsi, back in the day, they were in agreement with alleged sexual assaulter Bill O'Reilly, owners of and so on and so forth, going up against Ludacris just because of his lyrics, not because he actually did something wrong.
The crazy part about the Ludacris, that's what I knew Pepsi fell off. Because, like, when people boycotted NWA and you look back at it, I get it. I mean, America is a slave mound, but I get it for, like, we talking about, because NWA, it ain't really like a family brand or anything. They got, like, they showing up the first time. They some of the first people showing up with assault rifles in their videos and sawed-off shotguns and they tennis shoes on fire. So NWA was a very successful shock brand. Like, you know, the next level would be Death Row Records. But when you look back and you read about like people boycotting NWA or 2 Live Crew, you get it, right? But everything they were saying and making about the Ludacris situation, and we had Marilyn Manson running around. We had so many crazy acts running around that didn't receive, they received complaints. But nobody told Marilyn Manson to take his titties out of the milk ads.
They know it. It wasn't because of morality. No. Ludacris was hot during that time.
He was a black nigga with an afro.
He was just hot during that time.
And big lips.
Career was popping. He was in films. He was targeted not because they cared about his lyrics.
For ratings.
There you go.
That's all it was about.
And remember, the industry is cutthroat. The industry is cutthroat. People think they got to be real deep beef there. No. Somebody can take you out just because they know they're going to get ratings. Bill O'Reilly, the alleged rapist, didn't target Ludacris because he had a personal issue with Ludacris. He targeted Ludacris because he's like, I can get money. I can get more ratings. Because remember, Bill O'Reilly was one of the hottest shows back in the day. Even academics talked about And
no spin zone.
And Charlemagne talked about how much they loved Bill O'Reilly's show, right?
I used to watch it, but I didn't love it. I used to watch to see what the hell he was talking about.
So No Spin Zone was a very popular show. And what kept it popular, him going after popular personalities, which Ludacris was at that time. Yeah. So that's why when you see people get into these WWE beefs online, it can be deadly because even though it's a game, they can destroy somebody's career or even put somebody's life at risk. But in the game of Hollywood, people are like, so what? As long as I get my views off of it,
I'm good.
As long as I get my partnerships and money off of it, if Ludacris' career is destroyed beyond, I don't give a fuck. That's Bill O'Reilly mindset. Not because I morally care raunchy lyrics. It's because I want the publicity and I want the money.
Yeah, that's what.
And that's what Pepsi and Starmer are trying to do right now with the whole Ye thing. It's like it's
trying to trigger a boycott, a corporate boycott. That's why they were the linchpin. All right.
Here's the problem: you cannot trigger a boycott against Ye when you have the Democrats. All right, we're back. Buffered because I said Israel. All right. You have the Congress basically said that there are certain states that if you try to boycott Israel, you can get into a lot of trouble, right? And y'all see what happened in the Gaza Strip with people being murdered, children mostly. How are you gonna skip that type of boycott just to go to somebody, entertainer like Ye? And that's where Starmer and them are going to realize you lost your power to in that cultural warfare, because that's what the whole boycott the Ye thing would be. It would be cultural warfare, and for nothing.
Yeah, that's what it was about. Because y'all remember Bill O'Reilly triggered that boycott,
and Rush Limbaugh,
and Ludacris lost his endorsement. They dropped him, but not too.
Oh yeah, we're eventually gonna wrap this Blackout stream up.
Israel. Mess it up, Sid.
All right, go ahead. Say your last comment, Prince. Go ahead. It's strong right now.
Yeah, so that's all it is. And honestly, Starman, he's so weak looking in the face. This is all really pathetic because
he do look like a weak version of Giles from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, he do look like a weak version of Giles. That's a good one. No, because he's so weak. Even this is weak. I told y'all, don't nobody care.
Oh man, Ghost said my account on X got suspended because of a hacker flagged my account as not the true account for Sono. I'm in the process of appealing and hopefully, man, I can't believe they did that to you.
I'm sorry about that, man. Your work is pretty damn good. I was meaning to get back to you, but sometimes I respond to you on Thought Crimes or my personal account.
See, just also to let y'all know, the reason why sometimes we don't respond to people quick, email message wise on X is because X have too many people, their accounts get hacked into, people be false flagging people's accounts. So that's why we spend most of our time like responding to people either through mostly on the Patreon because
sometimes we get around a little later. But yeah, I actually goes before all that happened, because I was looking for your account because I was going to respond to because you did like 7 or 8 posts and I had watched all of them. All dope work. I got it. So do you have a secondary account I can hit you up with? Because I was going to ask you some questions.
He said that he still is creating and he still
is appealing. I was just wondering if he had another account that in that process. He said no. Okay then. Yeah, man. Yeah, he said I can still get no. You do a good job, man. You do a very good job. But yeah, this Pepsi's so weak. They so weak. No, I'm sorry. Like Pepsi is I think Taco Bell is stronger than Pepsi right now, and they all weak.
Taco Bell is so gross.
Yeah.
Years ago there was somebody peeing in the meat.
I thought it was made.
Yeah. Taco Bell is so
was for the gringos.
I don't even know why Taco Bell exists, bro. It's
Well, they had
just
that
so.
Godzilla commercial. It was that dog.
The meat just looked like it looked diseased. Don't y'all think the Taco Bell meat be looking diseased to y'all? That's just my opinion.
Taco Bell meat looked like LaRussell's beard. That's what it looked like.
It looked like diarrhea. Like it's just, to me, even as a kid, I always thought that Taco Bell meat looked nasty.
You know what? You had to choose when you was a kid. If your mama was working late and you had a little bit of money, it was either going to be Taco Bell or that artificial space meat from McDonald's. People forgot about that. Y'all remember they used to say the point in time when some of the meat wasn't real?
You know, when McDonald's, though, when they first came out with their fake meat and all that, though, it was all packaged neatly.
Yeah.
Like even the Happy Meal.
Meal, yeah.
Remember, because of how it was packaged for so long, people was riding with McDonald's until what happened? They started to get sloppy and they started to get a ghetto.
Yeah.
And then people was like, and it started around the time when they did Supersize. That's when things started to get ghetto. And a lot of people were starting to have fights at the establishment, and it went downhill from there.
Oh yeah, when the guy died though from Super Size Me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and you know what was crazy? See, when they got rid of it, that was one of the first white men I saw white people in America really just hate that wasn't a politician. Because y'all forget, see, when they got rid of the Super Size, because that white boy got out there, he was eating all them burgers every day. I saw white folks, they were angry. Because, you know, some of them were truckers, and they were like, well, can I get a supersize? But they was like, sorry, sir, we no longer carry supersize.
Some people were of the mindset, I want to die this way.
Yeah, they said, I want to eat this.
So they said they wanted to die.
The hell you mean ain't no supersize?
With the high fructose supersize. Yeah. And
they said, would you like a large fries? No, I wanted a supersize.
But I might have to counter the truckers a little bit, though.
Shouts out to the truckers.
Y'all on the road, bro. Y'all can't be physically unhealthy. If y'all have a coma while driving, eating Supersize Me and shit, somebody else cars could get rammed into. Now, don't get me wrong.
They hopped up on them super drinks.
If the possibility of killing other people didn't exist on the road, I would say have at it. If that's the way you want to die on some Supersize Me and your high cholesterol stuff, who am I to tell you what to do?
Left them supersized alone.
I think truckers should actually work on their health, because you on the road, you fall asleep,
like that movie with Stallone.
You have a heart attack or something on the road, people may end up getting killed.
That thing.
But without the steroids.
Yeah, well, with Supersize, I think they should have left it alone, because I actually think that's why we ended up getting more shootings. Yeah, because that white man was doing too much.
I don't think he was, Prince. Certain people have occupations
he was doing too much.
If they're into a diabetes coma, or if they have a heart attack, how is it do it to if your unhealthy ass is driving a truck and you fall asleep at the wheel or something happens, other people can die.
You can do that anyway by eating.
Yeah, but stop it. No, stop it. People.
I saw some white people. They wanted to fight him.
People who have
Now that was a snitch.
People who have occupations where other people could get harmed, like
Rockstar,
and they gotta stop.
All right,
they gotta stop.
Look, I'm just saying, because he did the documentary. I said, well, you made all the money.
He still died not long after that. Listen, so what money did he really make off of that documentary? Like, come on now.
To do what they need to do.
I disagree. I'm not getting killed that way because a fat trucker had a heart attack. I disagree.
I don't think it's heart attacks. Truckers be down on the road because they mess with them lot lizards at night, and they got to pull a double shift the next. You was up all day messing with them women in that parking lot.
All right, and y'all
y'all
co-side this nonsense, and then when some fat ass hit y'all car on the highway because they eating fucking supersized shit, whatever.
But it's probably because of the stress though.
You stress your body out every time when your body gets inflamed based off of eating things like the Supersize Me. Yeah. That is stress on the body too. So every time your body gets inflamed for eating something that is poisonous to its system, whether we're talking about the liver, the kidney, these things create stress on your organs. I
agree with what you said. I actually agree with you. I just knew that it's childhood over. Beanie Babies, Super Size Me, old whack ass Spice Girls. Yeah, that era's gone now. That era's gone. You know, there's a dope book y'all should read called Food Inc. It's really dope. Tells you about American fast food culture, how it comes about. Then it tells you about the people that believed in the American dream. Yeah. I thought Michael Keaton was perfect when he played Ray Kroc. I didn't think nobody else, because Michael Keaton has a charming sleaziness about him.
Well, he's a good actor.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's why
he actually one of the few
even when he played Batman, it's interesting. The internet culture not existing at that time really helped him get that role.
Because he was a comedian at first.
Because if they chose someone like that to play Batman in modern times, everybody would have a fit, and it ended up working. I mean, he actually played one of the best Batmans of all time.
But you know, them internet people, they be freaking out about everything. Oh, Samuel L. Jackson in Star Wars. Oh, and then they said Mace Windu was underrated. People ain't shit. They were racist when Samuel L. Jackson got casted in Phantom Menace. Now today they making money off the videos. Let's take a deep dive into the power of Mace Windu.
It would have been interesting if they did also, if he was hired in some type of Star Wars film, Michael Keaton. They gave him a role. That would be interesting. He could only play a Sith because of them eyebrows. Michael Keaton couldn't play nothing else. He could only play a Sith, to be honest with you. But I just think there's so much stuff you have to look at. Look at reason why a lot of millennials are getting harmed, because they're trying to eat organic, but the federal government sliding other ingredients that get classified as organic. So people are getting sick now. Because there's certain toxins and poisons that are in it, organic food as well. Yeah. Which is why people have to quadruple check everything they put into their mouth. Everything. And because you live in a society, that's why I said, if you isolated, I mean, like, have at it. But remember, if you're a doctor, if you're a nurse, if you're a truck driver, with anything that, again, deals with some type of interaction with other people. In the public. You know, with the public, it's very important that you take care of your health, you know. You got to explain that to the police, though. Police, the same thing. I think, you know, having cops that are out of shape is not wise. And also cops that are eating certain foods that are inflammatory, increasing their emotional instability is not good either. Well, some other cops, y'all can't be taking your mental health medication and drinking alcohol the same night. Not good. Y'all come to work the next day, y'all shooting everybody's dogs. Also, CBR said y'all think fasting helps. Yeah, it does. Fasting, yeah, it's absolutely supposed to give your organs time, and your cells time to regenerate. Hemoglobin helps with clarity, mindset. There's some other esoteric themes tied to it as well. But yeah, you know, even just a day of fasting, 1 to 3 days of fasting will do wonders for you. You know. Let's see here. Eating Dominican food is bad for you. You won't shit for a month. I don't think I've eaten Dominican food. I think if people if you're constipated, what are some things that people take for constipation naturally? You can actually magnesium. Magnesium helps, yeah. Magnesium. Oh, real quick, disclaimer, not healthcare professionals. Yeah, disclaimer, we're not Pepsi. Disclaimer, go to your doctor. Yeah. All right. Well, water definitely helps, but you may need some other things to help. Magnesium does help with that. Well, a lot of times there is a thing with constipation, an aspect of it. If you are, there's a good chance you could be suffering from dehydration. But again, disclaimer, not Mountain Dew. All right. Mr. says, scream at me, y'all. Mr. just came in. All right. But no, this is just good stream, good points. And I think they capping with the Pepsi thing. It ain't really making no real news, though. Because Black people talk shit about Ye with no action. Yeah. We're not doing nothing. No Black person going to picket. The most you'll get is an article write-up. That's it. I don't know what white people or Jewish people are expecting. I'm not getting my black ass up to do nothing. I mean, y'all supported the nonsense and y'all was okay every time. You okay when black people are coons against other black people, but then when they branch out and say something about you, like even Candace Owens, I'm not helping you. No, absolutely not. I don't like, that's form of hypocrisy. What do you think, I'm a fucking butler? If you don't say something when it's pertaining to me and my community, you think I'm a fucking butler that I'm supposed to clean up your mess? No. Absolutely. And also, black people weren't even talking about canceling Ye back in the day. They was talking about just accountability.
They wanted him to shut up.
You know, like people like stop glossing over this anti-black stuff, and they didn't have nothing to say. Like even that Jewish guy that was on the Young Turks, he was like, Jay-Z, everybody, what y'all gonna say? Huh? Bro, you was
the one that had the long hair.
Yeah, you wasn't worked up on the Young Turks show when Ye was saying, you know, all this stuff about black people.
White liberals,
I don't like white liberals
white
either.
Liberals and white progressives, I'm gonna be honest with them.
They're very fake. A lot of them.
I don't like them. The Hassan Pikers, Lord, I don't like them. They get on my nerve. I don't like them at all.
Yes, gotta up your fiber and also electrolytes too. Electrolytes are very, very important. People skip out off of that.
Where you sourcing your oats because they got that pesticide and that weed roundup stuff all over your oats. You got to go find companies that are not using pesticides.
I ain't fucking with Quakers.
Quackers.
That's the one that definitely is a no.
Yeah. Well, that man on Quakers, he looked like he ate black babies. So you got to be careful with all that. Brian Tyler Cohen. Oh yeah, man. Brian Tyler Cohen. Look, that's their brand. Because when I look at Brian Tyler Cohen, the Midas Touch, I've seen a lot of their stuff. The one I don't like is Bulwark. I really don't like none of them over there because Bulwark, they do all of this crying about Donald Trump, especially the editor at Bulwark. He kept doing, I really don't like that guy. And so they do all of this whining and crying about Trump racism, his xenophobia, his homophobia, his sickle cellophobia, the whole thing, right? But then when Hulk Hogan died, I watched them hold like damn near a special 3-part panel council. There was one guy on there, one curly haired white boy. He said, well, I don't mess with Hulk Hogan because he's racist. The editor was like, well, I'm not really we're not trying to go to you're a political platform. You really shouldn't be going into entertainment unless politics intersects with it. So the white boy was right. He said, I don't mess with Hulk Hogan. He said he's a racist. And so the editor of the Bulwark was like, because he's 700 and he grew up looking up to Hulk Hogan, he was trying to say, well, I want to remember the good times of WCW and all this stuff. And I had unsubscribed. I said, I don't want to be bothered.
Then shut the fuck up with immorality.
Yes.
If anyone gets a pass and they're not, and I will even say this, I will even be nice. If somebody gets a pass and they biologically related to you, oh, yeah, that's your brother, your mother, all right, like fine.
Jon Stewart said.
Fine, whatever. Jon Stewart said, I admire my Ku Klux Klan grandfather, fine.
Let's to the right of Hitler.
Yeah, let's make it a little bit easier. If the person isn't related to you, and you give them a pass,
what are we talking about?
Then you cannot speak or criticize anybody else pertaining to that. That's why Gen Zers support Ye so much, even the ones who criticize him. Yeah. It's not because of Ye himself. It really isn't. It's not just because of Ye by himself, even though the Yeezys, sneakers, all that great stuff, right? It's the major thing is Gen Zers see that people are telling them not to boycott Israel with what's going on in Gaza. People are ignoring what's in the Epstein files. People aren't being prosecuted. And Gen Zers are like, look, I'm not wasting my time putting a battery being put into my back to try to cancel entertainers when y'all can't even do what y'all supposed to do to handle these really serious political issues.
I don't like none of them. I watch them time to time to see what the political engagement is, whether I like old times radio. I believe that's what they call it. Y'all can check them out. But they're foreign, but they pretty much, they got something called the Trump Report. They talk about what goes on with his administration, his generals. They keep their eye on what goes on militarily, things of that nature. But when I look at like the Bulwark, the Midas Touch, who else?
The Midas Touch, sometimes you like some of that stuff before.
No, I will say they're more tolerable because I'm gonna do like I am able to tolerate them more than the Bulwark. I don't like the Bulwark. I think those are scary white people that don't want to get treated like niggas.
I don't like when people on the Republican end pretend that Trump isn't in the Epstein files a lot of times. And I don't trust Democrat platforms that don't talk about Bill Clinton being in the Epstein files. If you're pro-Democrat or pro-Republican, but you have the backbone to be like, yo, Trump is in the Epstein files, yo, Bill Clinton's in the Epstein files, then I know that you have standards beyond the team. It's not just team. You're like, I don't want this. I gotta be on. Then I'm gonna fuck with you no matter what. Because I'm be like, people have their things. Some people want to be a Catholic. Some people, want to be a Jehovah's Witness. Some people want to be a Baptist, whatever. I don't care. Just be consistent somewhere is my point. Don't be acting like you can't see what is blatantly going on in front of your face.
Yeah, like let me see real quick, because the Midas Touch, they are normally, I would say, most of the times they're a lot more consistent than the Bulwark. And I think the other one, I know it's Times Radio, but I know they got another channel called the Trump Report, and they just cover things geopolitically. But I'll be honest with you all, and I was telling Sin about this. Actually, when we first met, I had told her, I said, I'm not really that big on progressive, particularly the white ones, because I had to live around them in Austin. And
you said some of them got along with you, though.
Yeah, when it was time to go make some money. I didn't want to talk to them about politics because I know they was going to say something stupid and they was going to be nervous, too.
They always nervous.
Yeah, so I just, I didn't want to be bothered with that. But
Sarah, just spit it out. Yeah. What do you have to fucking say?
I like Tabitha Speaks too. Tabitha Speaks Politics. She does make me laugh how she dryly reports on things. Even when she was talking about Chile, she says, if y'all want to go see Chile or whatever, fine. She says, but I don't want Chile playing in our face. She said, we know what we saw. Just own up to it and let's move on. And so she said, so we can put you over there with Snoop Dogg. That's about it. But there's a lot of them that
what about the Breakfast Club? They be on point politically.
They on Netflix.
You ain't got no thing to say about how astute they are politically?
No, they stupid.
Oh my God! Hey, we have an eclipse. Strategy King is in here. Jesus is King.
Wow.
Happy Easter.
Strategy
oh my.
King
He hasn't
right
been
now is on tour with Kanye West. He stopped in to check our pulse. What do y'all think about the show, Thought Crime?
He hasn't been here since Trump won the election.
Wow.
What is going on?
Wow. Now you know Ye is officially back. Wow.
Strategy King only shows up when he knows he's winning somewhere.
Yeah.
So he can have something to.
And he's here to drop Ye T. Look at it. What a time to be alive. Because Kanye back outside. Y'all gotta understand. Strategy King. You know what, Sid? He disappeared during the entire battle. He says, I don't care about these three niggas.
No, he don't care about the big three. Strategy King only cares about Ye.
Strategy King back from his date with Stacey Abrams. Look at him, sold out SoFi. Yeah. Lauryn Hill is the true queen. Man. So there y'all go. Strategy King is working in the Ye administration. I'd be happy to see his blue avatar.
Okay, good. Strategy King said, I rock with Kendrick Lamar. He deserved the win. Also, Antarctica says, I'm wondering when the Yay NATO coalition was going to reassemble, laughing my ass off.
Well, Jay-Z, you guys may get a reunion. Jay-Z about ready to do Watch the Thrones 2. Especially now that he got the progressives talking about eat the rich, including him.
Strategy King, what do you think about Jay-Z being scared that the progressives going to eat him?
Yeah.
The white progressives talk about eat the rich. And they
white
put
liberals.
And they talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah. Mr. said God was desperate for the win.
I love the diversity though.
I know, man.
I really do.
Yeah, we like it. We like how y'all are. I like it. It's barroom antics. No, I do. I don't like when the chat all the way agrees one way. I like the diversity. DEI all through the chat.
Strategy King said Kendrick held it down while Ye was dealing. While Ye was dealing with other stuff, took out the Canadian. He also said, as Malcolm said, the chickens have come home to roost for Jay-Z.
We never really asked his perspective on Jay-Z.
He already told us. He said he don't fuck with Jay-Z.
What do you think about the GQ interview, Strategy Key? He said, Black said Malcolm wasn't talking about Jay-Z.
That's not what Nas said. Nas said Martin Luther King died for Jay-Z. Martin Luther King died for Jay-Z.
Well, Jay-Z did say he arrived the day Frank Hampton died. So.
Oh, so you feel a certain type of way about the Clips and Pusha T going over there with Jay-Z? He said that's what that GQ was about.
Oh, Jay-Z is corporate enough. Ain't that right, Pusha T?
Y'all camp, the pro Ye camp, y'all still have issues with Pusha T?
Oh yeah.
Petty Gibbs said he thought you got sacrificed, Strategy King.
They working on sacrificing Jay. Man, Kanye scheduled his shows right on top of Jay-Z. Oh, you said of course he knows about Ye's condition and he stabbed him in the back.
Are you talking about what's the trainer name again?
Harvey Pasternak.
Harvey. You talking about Harvey with when Pusha was over there with him?
Yeah, they said that guy had followed him to Japan.
Followed him to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, so he's talking about Harvey.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would say this time around, Pusha T's tea was a little dry. He could have really just promoted the album because So Be It was a beautifully shot video. I think it's a classic track from the Clips. I think it's one of their strongest tracks. But when he was like spilling like that dry oolong tea on Travis Scott and Kanye, I wasn't interested. Also,
Strategy King said Bianca is a real one, held Ye down. Are we seeing more kids in the future, Strategy King? Also, OC said Ye doing to Jay-Z what Jay-Z does to Nas. Metaphysics said Jay-Z probably sent Harvey. Black McBain said she been trying to divorce that bozo since wedding night, but the money. I think Bianca has been working with Ye for a while, even before they got married. What's up, society? What's up, Antarctica? He said not related, but the AI bubble is starting to pop. We talked about a couple of years ago. And also, Tech Insider told us this definitely was going to pop. That's why we brought it to the public so y'all can know. But remember, when it pops, AI is not going to be erased.
It's not going away.
The companies you're about to see which companies are going to survive with the frontier of AI and which companies are going to be eliminated. It looked like so far that Sam Altman might be eliminated. And Sam Altman gets eliminated, I'm going. No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah, I know.
I'm not going to do nothing. But
all we can say is that.
But just watch. Yeah.
Well, I just think the aggressive hike in RAM and processing tech is a little bit too much. And they also trying to deindustrialize a lot of up and coming entrepreneurs too. But also, very bizarre story about the sister, Sam Altman. So that's some crazy stuff to lay on somebody publicly. Also, Strategy King says here, Jay-Z outside of New York don't matter. Complex went into New York streets and New York youth said they rock with Ye over Jay. Ye getting more love than Jay in his own city.
He also said Ye has the highest selling stadium concert in LA history, not just in hip hop. His show outsold Taylor Swift's at the same show.
Yeah, because for me, Ye did make Taylor Swift famous from my experience because I didn't know nothing about. I couldn't tell you the difference between Taylor and Jenny McCarthy.
She was already famous before what Ye did, but what Ye did is
she's black famous.
Yeah,
that's what's different.
He put her in demographics that didn't really know much about her,
and I didn't want to.
I vaguely knew about her, and I knew she was popular amongst white girls.
A lot of white girls.
Yeah, I knew she was pop, but it wasn't like it was beyond that. But with the whole thing that took place,
that got the herbal essence collection. No, you could tell. I was like, oh, okay. They were talking about they were going to a Taylor. They were Swifties. The first time I heard about Swifties, I was in Austin. There was a bunch of white girls that were blondes, and they were like, "We're Swifties," and I was like, "What's a Swiftie?"
People didn't want to give him credit, but at that time, Ye. He was very popular amongst the visual arts area.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, the area that Jay-Z is, he want to make himself known in with Basquiat and stuff. Because in high school and then also in college, when I went to one of the visual performing arts schools in New York City, where the Taylor Swift situation happened, everybody at the art school, they didn't care.
No.
They was like, and the teacher, it was funny. The teacher brought it up, the professor. So we was in the art class, right? He came, he's like, guys, you saw what Kanye did to Taylor Swift. What it was messed up. What do y'all think? And the whole class said, we don't care. Like, can we get back to our studies? So.
You know how art students were.
Yeah.
It's like Taylor can't draw.
Right, because they liked the fact that not only Ye, but Ye also would pick up like some of the best artists. Like even when people talk about the stage design, what took place also with the Sphere, he went and hired a very, I think his name was Tony. I'm gonna double check. A really skillful guy when it came to stage design, and him and Kanye both together, came up with the layout. But going back to basically, Ariel said, what was his response? Oh, you asked him what my teacher? He stopped talking about it. He said, he's like, oh, wow. He's like, y'all don't care, then I don't care. All right, let's get back to the class.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Like when you in AP art, and like when I had to do like the portfolio stuff to get into college and all this other stuff, Jay-Z didn't matter more than Kanye West. That was during the college dropout era. By the time he got to late registration, I saw a lot of people that preferred Kanye over Jay-Z. So when the Taylor Swift situation happened, all we saw, and I'm just saying from my perspective, because I think black famous is the biggest fame, my personal opinion, because everything else drives off of it. So for me, in my world, black famous world, you watching Today or Good Morning America, you're seeing all of these breakfast sandwich McDonald's white people crying about Taylor Swift, and you kind of like, whatever. I didn't know nothing about Taylor Swift. I remember seeing her when I used to click over channels a few times at the CMT Awards. And I remember there was something going on with her and the Jenny McCarthy girl. But when Kanye got on stage and he said, I just want to say Beyonce had the greatest video of all time. Taylor didn't, nothing else mattered at that point.
Well, I'll say this. I think, and this goes back to the conversation we were having in a couple Blackout streams. People got to stop disrespecting the art community. The art community is global and is bigger.
Very powerful.
It's bigger than what people think. If you think about it, just think about it. You have pure artists all across the United States. We already know about the hubs like, Atlanta, New York City, Chicago, Baltimore. You go to another country, Japan, all across Japan, artists, all across China, artists. Yeah. All in Nigeria, South Africa, artists. So going back to Apple, that's what made Apple one of the biggest tech hubs of all time, because when Steve Jobs was doing his thing, he had a lot of love for the art community, and he was about technology and the arts partnering together, which is why a lot of artists would be like, yo, I'll save up money to pay $300 for this, $200 for this. Sam Altman is facing backlash because he disrespected the art community. And one of the things that make Ye powerful is the art community. The sneakers, where we talk about Yeezy, him coming from a visual performing arts background. Even Jay-Z comprehends this, which is why what did Jay-Z do in his next transformation? He's like, I'm Basquiat. I want to talk about how hip hop and art and the art gallery meets as one.
Come on, say it. Look, the reason why. Look, I liked 444. I think it was a nice album. I think that's about as artistic. That's about as close as we're gonna get to for Jay-Z with a 24-piece art portfolio collection. The reason why I'm saying that, because Jay-Z's decor is not necessarily fine arts. When you think of Kanye West, you even throw in people like Chance the Rapper, right? Fine arts, Chicago, fine arts background, art community, right? Everything about Kanye West has really had to do with fine arts and art decor, basically engineering and design.
But also Jay-Z, illustrators too.
Yeah, that's included in all that,
he's
right?
creating, he's doing Ye with the Art Hub, we're talking about individual independent artists, and we're also talking about artists that are connected to the institutions that went to the fine arts. Parsons University, Cooper Union, Pratt.
Yeah, even SCAD, Savannah School of Art and Design. Even if you're talking about Cal Arts, for all the criticism it gets. Kanye West has a substantial influence on the third era of second to third era of millennial animation, even if you're talking about what you start seeing new shows on Cartoon Network. A lot of artists take inspiration from the decor of Kanye West, especially that Graduation album. Okay, so yeah, Jay-Z can, do the Basquiat thing, but he looks like a purchaser or a buyer of fine art collection. And then Kanye West is, I create the art collection. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why sometimes it's interesting for Jay-Z to try to make that same connection to the artists that he was able to curate through his Watch the Throne era with Kanye West.
I know Jay-Z's perspective though.
You
Jay-Z's perspective is he's like, because people mainstream wise, they were first introduced to me as a drug dealer, as a party anthem lifestyle rapper. He was trying to, through Ye, he was trying to reclaim his art background in New York City, because even with the hustlers and the crime energy in New York City, they were connected to the art gallery place too, and the graffiti culture and all that. So it's not that Jay-Z is lying. It's just the fact that
has not been his brand.
It's just the fact that Ye gave an opportunity for him to express that further, because through Ye, if he would have just came out raw dog with it, people would have been like, yo, I don't believe you. Even though if you go look at the history of New York City and the art scene, there's always been a very close relationship there. But how am I going to market that to people who don't understand that? Oh, wait, we got Ye here who from the very beginning was expressing his visual performing arts background, was expressing the whole Chicago art scene. Through there, I can show everybody, you know, where I really wanted to go.
Yeah, because Kanye West, now where he falls into I'll say this, most of Jay-Z's brand has been exclusivity. All right. Even if you're a dope boy, Jay-Z's the MJ of the dopies on record. Right. Then when you get into the art gallery, art deco space, you know, it's like you're not going to be rubbing shoulders with Tata and them. You're not going to be rubbing shoulders with the guy that has been directing two of the films that Jay-Z's studio or team had budgeted as a producer. Whereas Kanye West, up until I would arguably say, I want to say Yeezus is when you start to see the more like elitist mindset set in concerning art, right? High fashion houses, things of that nature. When he got really caught up in that space, that Yeezus album is a very important, pivotal time point in Kanye's career. But up until then, it was really a color revolution of different artists from all walks of life and ethnicities with Kanye West. You know, and that's what gave him that broad paint stroke for the audience that, as you saw, Jay-Z was able to terraform his image where he leans more into the artistic. In fact, to show you how much of a pivot it was, that's why 50 Cent started mocking him during the transformation. He called Jay-Z the gay painter.
Well, art, like, yeah, that's a good point. That's why I said, like, art gallery Jay-Z, he showed elements of it in his career, but when nobody was checking for him, though. By the time you get the volumes, which were really hot and popular, he's not really showcasing that anymore. You get what I'm saying? So then we go to the blueprint, and then we go forward, people not seeing that from you. The people who are like hip-hop nerds who know about the art scene in fusion with hip-hop, even in New York City, they know what Jay-Z is talking about. But you was the most popular from volume 1, 2, 3, Blueprint. Yeah. You know, got the hottest chick in the game wearing my chain, but the Black album, right? So that's why by the time you get to Watch the Throne through Ye, Jay-Z can have a reset. Like, look, I want to talk to people about the art stuff. Now, I don't think that Jay-Z is a fraud about the art he likes, because he actually chooses quality things. Yeah. You know, I like Rick Ross music, but when Rick Ross got scanned by the quality of watches
do look fake, bro.
Jay-Z's not going to get scanned by that because he really is into luxury items. But here's the problem, though. The artistic side of Jay-Z that's into the whole art gallery, visual performing arts, he wasn't able to really express that until his partnership with Yeah,
no, it is, because right around when Jay-Z did Decoded, I would say Blueprint 3, Decoded, and Watch the Throne 3 that's a very important era where you see Jay-Z steps into art and culture. For the longest part of Jay-Z's career, the better half of Jay-Z's career was the Rob Report.
Damn, they said that we buffering.
It's because now every time you get into the zone.
Okay, we're back now. Go ahead.
All right, I'll just say this part again. From the Blueprint 3 to, I would say, Watch the Throne. And then you had all the little stuff in between. That was a very important cultural transformation for Jay-Z, because it allowed people to see the more artsier, mature side of Jay-Z. But as far as Jay-Z's brand has, for the better part of his career, it's been the Rob Report. You know, you got to go back to the 97 Hustlers. You know, people used to brag about, I can buy things out of the Rob Report magazine, which was a magazine for millionaires and billionaires. He was a leisure life rapper for most of his career. Now he's been able to remarry elements of that with, of course, New York high society art culture, but it's from a different perspective as I buy valuable pieces. I own an art gallery. I'm sponsoring artists in their art galleries. I want to give back to the young youth in the neighborhood, support programs, things of that nature in that regard. And I'm not saying that's not inspirational, because if you talk to a suburban kid that's an artist or an inner city artist, and Roc Nation, Jay-Z, or the Carter sponsors, their career, they're more than likely, hell yeah, they're going to take it. But Kanye West is looked at differently. He's looked at as the painter. He's looked at as the illustrator, the curator. He's looked at as something a little bit different. And he's actually quoting these artists as to what has inspired him arranging his Glow in the Dark tour. He's talking about different tapestries, cloth, and things of that nature. And he goes a little bit more deeper in the detail of decor than Jay-Z.
Even though when Ye one time he was doing the like Donda thing, he was trying to lie and was like, "Yo, I'm just a street nigga." I was like, he tried to like for one moment try to disassociate himself with the visual performing arts. Like, nigga, stop lying, bro. Remember that one time he was like, people was talking about the Bears and all this shit. And he said something about during the drill time. He was like, niggas think that I'm just I'm this visual performing arts guy. Like, I'm with the streets and all. Like, nigga, come on, stop it.
Your money is. You got money there. Anybody can hire goons when you got that type of money.
It don't street or not. It don't change the fact that you're still a visual performing arts kid, and that's something you should wear proudly because that's how people can be multifaceted.
Yeah.
When you know different skills in art, and then also how it can also bleed over into technology, that's a good thing.
Kanye West on a broader level, but he's in the same space as Outkast. Outkast has influenced Gucci, Jeezy. They've influenced T.I., but they've influenced Kendrick Lamar. You get what I'm saying? Kanye West has that type of spectrum. There's a lot of drill niggas. They didn't produce the same quality of art, but there's a lot of drill niggas that were inspired. Dirk said one of his biggest inspirations was Kanye West. Kanye West was bullshitting at that time, and I think he was just being a contrarian. But it is interesting to see like just how culture is responding to Jay-Z versus Ye at this point in time.
I'll also say too, because Strategy keep bringing up Cardi B. I think it's kind of weird that they created a college course for Cardi B in Howard University.
Was it at a community college?
No, Howard University, historically, Black college. I know you're trolling when you said that, but
at Howard.
It's bizarre to me. And as also the people who also are trying to create all of this thing about preserving the culture, even against Drake, which have at it, because I don't, I'm not Drake's bodyguard. But when people say they're having courses on Kendrick in universities, it makes sense. If someone says they're going to do courses on J. Cole,
they did it on Lupe.
On Lauryn Hill, Lupe Fiasco, it makes sense. It's like, doing a course on Cardi B for what, nigga? For what?
Here's the thing. Even if you was going to go in that direction of femininity in hip hop, why would you start with Lil' Kim? If we're going in that direction where we can dissect lyrics and what certain songs represented off of hardcore or throughout the career, like for me with the Cardi B. It's like you might as well do a course on influencer culture then. Because Cardi B is the first hybrid influencer rapper at that level. I mean, without Cardi B, we couldn't get a Sexy Red.
Music goes into literature and poetry, right? When we talk about people who are writers.
But what happens when you don't write?
When you pin Cardi B as her lyrics to be studied, and also the lyrics of the people who write for her, but under the guise of just her, that's weird to me.
So does Partisan get a course too?
I don't know.
Look, let's be real. Howard is clout chasing. Shouts out to our Howard alumni. But I've seen some of them said they were not happy with that. You know, I actually saw some alumni that said, bro, who even asked for this?
Strategy King said that Bianca has a master's degree in architecture, holding women. Yeah, I did heard about that they said that she has a degree in architecture.
That makes sense. He would be with another designer.
He didn't with Kim Kardashian.
Well, she's supposed to be going through law school.
Well, he's going back to his roots because, and I don't want to focus too much on his dating life because I really don't care, but I'll just say this briefly. Kanye has this double-edged sword when he dates. Sometimes he dates women who are very intelligent and women who are really good, have designer eyes in the arts. Like one of his first girlfriends, he was famous with the one with during the Bear series. What's her name? The black one?
I forget her name. She was a fashion designer.
She was a fashion designer.
You guys will remember it in the chat.
And sometimes he does like sugar stuff, like where he'll like be with women who really don't have a skill. It's just because they just look pretty. Alexis, thank you. Thank you, 7512. And then he'll sometimes go back to like what you see with the Bianca, like somebody who has a skill in architecture.
Right.
And I personally think for him it's better to be with somebody else.
Other engineers, other artists.
Yeah, it's better to be with someone who has the intelligence factor for those type of things, spaces.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're talking about Alexis or whether you're talking about now with
those
Bianca.
Those types of erratic, colorful minds, it's better for them to pair with other artists. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work any other way. But yeah, no, you know, Kanye West is in a different space. But you know, whatever people choose to do with it, whether they're gonna continue to support him, that's fine. I mean, I don't care either one way or another. I am interested in a lot of the cultural moves and how people receive them. And I just think it's interesting. You know, even in this state sin, the GQ interview had a grander response if that was Kanye West. That tells me a lot about the vitality.
Jay-Z playing it safe though.
We know what he was doing.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of Jay-Z interviews that blow up. I just think Jay-Z was being quoted and it's something that he's trying to flip.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, we're gonna.
So Jay-Z's playing it.
But
coy.
I'm just saying, on a reception level, though, it is interesting to see what is going on. And
I also, as amazing as Jay is, you can't overlook the amazing talents of Jay-Z as well, because Ye was enamored with Jay-Z at one time. Like,
so was Barack Obama.
Ye also. He audited a lot of himself to some degree because of how much he admired Jay-Z. So that's something that, you know, can't be overlooked, you know, the fact that Ye was so infatuated with Jay-Z.
Of course, it was.
And this is something, it's something you and I talked about, but too, like even like where Jay-Z, for a lot of people, have this charisma where they believe in him. Until they get, you know, until something.
They're not happy with him anymore.
Right.
I told you, something Jay does. I know people keep, like, we talked about this the other night. I know people keep saying, like, no, he ain't never. No, he's got some pull because when he get up close on niggas, whatever hypnotherapist shit he's doing, they always do a 180. Nah, man, we just, you know. I mean, but you see guys that be emotional about Jay-Z. Look, Jim Jones was confused when he was dissing Jay-Z because Cam was getting active, but Jim really loved Jay-Z. If you look at Cam's attitude with Jay-Z has always been like, you know, we don't really fuck with each other like that. But Cam has always kind of had a bit of a sheet of ice between him and Jay because he kind of like this nigga's like a shark. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jim really loves Jay-Z.
Superstars are infatuated with Jay-Z. Beyonce's a superstar. He married to her. Nicki, superstar, was over there with Tidal, believed in it.
She was a real fan.
Believed in the Declaration of Independence.
Her greatest album, The Pink Print.
Ye, one of the most versatile hip hop artists of all time, over there under Jay-Z at one time as well. Jay-Z does have a charisma where a lot of these superstars at one time in their career were, again, just really believed in him.
Oh, I'll give you another example, Sid.
And yeah, we know that Ye no longer is concerned about Jay-Z, but at one time he really was.
I'll give you another example. Kendrick said, I'll get at anybody. He even mentions Jay-Z. But he also, when he was throwing his shots at either Sean or Drake, it probably was Drake though, he said, what did he say? You ain't no Hall of Famer. You ain't greater than Jay-Z. Ho, shut your ass up. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
Someone that's as competitive as Kendrick.
Some year ago.
Yeah, he said that.
He was defending Jay-Z on record. Yeah.
That tells you something. I keep telling folks, I mean, no, I said that nigga is working with a close up on a lot of niggas and they do a 180.
No, I agree. And no, it wasn't just, I disagree with you, Tragic King. It wasn't just because, Jay-Z was one of the heads of Rockefeller. Like, even after that, there were a lot of times that Ye became so big, he could have been departed from Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah.
He stayed as long as he did because he really believed in Jay-Z.
Folks, Jay is doing something because when people leave 50 Cent, with the exception of Lloyd Banks, right? Because I think at the time Lloyd lost his father and everything. Everybody that leaves 50 Cent, their attitude, just fuck him. They not even, Floyd Mayweather don't get emotional about 50 Cent. He said, I don't fuck with him. Everybody that leaves Jay-Z, it feels like a very painful divorce for them.
It feels like it's very intimate.
Yeah.
I don't know why it is, but it does.
It's so, I'm all through your body. You said I'm Illuminati. I'm in your subconsciousness.
Yeah, I mean, this again,
Oh man, people have.
Ye is also a big reason why the majority of black entertainers are comfortably coming out pro-Trump.
Right. Oh yeah, he set the trend again. Set the trend again.
And but remember, we talked to Dr. Scott. He told you that the majority of Black Hollywood was already quietly trying to go over there with Trump, but they was too scared to do so publicly. That's why Steve Harvey got caught with the setup cameras. He was trying to backdoor sneak a relationship and a deal with Trump. Yeah. Also, Strategy King said Ye tried to stick with the Brotherhood, and look what that got him.
That is true.
Jay now hanging out with Plastic Surgery X. Beyonce better hope she not making a Becky Part 2 song. I will say this. It's a double-edged sword because look at what the white people and Jewish people did to Ye, pretending to business with Adidas and also with Nike. I do think it's the interesting thing that it feels like black people in Hollywood, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. They try to create a black brotherhood. Somebody backstabs them. Then they go over with white people and Jewish people. Then they still get backstabbed there too because the white people and the Jewish people take all their fucking money and try to take on all this shit too. So, I mean, it's almost like a good luck situation. Good luck in trying to figure out that equation out.
Welcome to the Game of Thrones. Good luck, ladies and gentlemen, and may the best Negro survive.
Yeah, it's really like that because, like, when you just be like, let's say you get screwed over by a lot of people, the J's, the Diddy's, right? You get screwed over by a lot of black people in Hollywood. And then you go over to white people, Jewish people, and they do the same thing, but on the grand scalable sides. So it's like you're caught between again a rock and a hard place. It's going to be interesting to see how they maneuver around that. Some people do get lucky when they get that rare type of commitment, like with Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, how they look out for each other. It'd be nice if the guys did do that, and if they literally had a true brotherhood instead of always scheming against each other. It probably would be easier to compete or
when they sit in there
or deal with the Lucian Granges of the world. But it's hard to do with all the double crossing that takes place.
All they gotta do is send in one Michael Rubin or Scooter Braun. Look, it starts off pretty cool with each other, but man, when they send in a white boy from Silicon Valley with some clean Nike shoes, he usually breaks the crew up.
I agree.
He usually breaks the crew up.
Always do, like Fire Festival white boys. Mm-hmm. Also, Strategy King said Ye's a genius. He don't want the corporate sponsorships. Pepsi proves Ye point. I think the Pepsi thing proved the independent scene point. Because there are a lot of people in the independent scene that was trying to tell Ye for a long time to leave that whole mainstream corporate sector, because the mafia and how the gangs territory works in mainstream corporate world is because of fake morality, people who have fake morality, and also cancel culture. So like you see with the Epstein files, Starmer, you see with Pepsi, their hypocrisy. One of the reasons why Prince and I have no interest of being in any of those mainstream hubs, they're hypocrites. And also the people who pretend to back you or be like partner with you, they're all fake. One little controversy, even if it's based off of a lie, but let's say it's based off of something that's true, but it's not even a big deal. Let's say, I'll give you an example how mainstream media works. Let's say Prince and I went mainstream, right? We joking around, all this other stuff. Someone go look at our old videos, and it's a racial joke that everybody laughed at. But now all of a sudden, the joke is to be examined, and now the joke is controversial because
it's being studied at Howard.
Because we got a Pepsi endorsement and all this other stuff.
Whoops.
That's how they work you, so you can apologize, be further indebted to them. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't even make that joke. I'm sorry. Please let me keep my money.
Have you looking like Kevin Hart? All these apologies. All right, Ruben stuttered asses. But yeah, and honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. Nobody cares. That's why y'all laugh when I said nobody cares that Pepsi's withdrawing anything in the UK. It's not the same culture. I'm not saying people don't care about the UK. I'm saying people don't care about what Pepsi is doing in the UK. If you're talking about Americans.
Oh yeah,
so, what is Americans like? Oh, like we supposed to get triggered? Like, yeah, that's right.
I mean, I personally. I love a lot of the people out there in the UK, a lot of the people who support us out there. Shout out to y'all. Strategy said that Ye made $60 million without corporate sponsorship.
Yeah, I believe it. And it doesn't matter right now. Look,
but he is a little bit of a catch-22. It's actually a slick story here, because Ye got the best of both worlds. He got propped up by mainstream
doing a stronger
at the last strength of it.
Yeah.
Got kicked off the mountain actually at the right time,
when it was going down,
when it was already mainstream was declining. Still has that mainstream global recognition, but then he's able to pivot to the independent scene and then make his money that way without a lot of corporate mainstream interests having just the power just to completely
and the technology that's better out right now. He has access. Thank God for 3D printers, right? So, yeah, that's what I said. I don't, Pepsi clearly is out of touch with the market, and even grander out of touch with the market internationally. It's kind of like what you saw with Dunkin' Donuts when Trump got in office, and then they started doing commercials about my donuts and my Nazi genetics. Like, I say, there's no hope for y'all. Y'all just had Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez in y'all videos dancing with them 80s sweatsuits. And then now y'all switch over to placating to the Nick Fuentes crowd because of what y'all think the metric is on social media.
Oh yeah, I agree with you on that. I don't hang out with people just because I like what somebody else does. I don't like Nick Fuentes, and I'm not gonna be on his pill micro dick just because Ye over there with him. King says that Kanye better bring out Bob Violin on stage at Wireless. That would be interesting since they did try to cancel Bob. They almost destroyed his entire life. He was able, from a slither, fourth quarter, was able to get out of there and survive. For those who don't know what King James is talking about, is a UK artist who he made an anti-Israel song and an anti-IDF song, and they tried to deplete his finances, and they also tried to censor him completely.
Yeah, look, and I get it. To be honest with you, let me see. I don't know. I say I get it, but I feel Pepsi, like the rest of the corporations, even right now with AI, actually the smartest company at that scale, Sin, that's moving the best concerning the whole AI navigation is Apple. You know, they took a year to jump to it. The first deal didn't work out. So then now with their processing chips, they're going to be allowing for a lot more AI configuration directly on their hardware for free versus you having to pay to a subscription. But
I agree, yeah.
But just to say this, I'm bringing that up because only a few of the big companies right now are smartly moving correctly. I think Pepsi is just out. I think they're just as out of touch as Target was when Trump got elected, and the CEO said that proudly, and it cost him.
Yeah, the CEO, like you Target, you talk about DI, man. Shut your punk ass up. And when Tyrese and them talk about black people shouldn't boycott, man, black people don't got to put money they don't want to fucking put into. Let the Target can crash and burn. Who cares? Also, to add to the conversation, Ye falsely bent the knee. This is something we talked about on the Patreon for those who are already on the Patreon with us. He bent the knee to that one Hasidic rabbi so he can continue to make money with certain people in Hollywood who wanted to go over there and partner with him, but they couldn't do it in the way that they wanted to do it unless he did some form of a fake mock ritual apology, which is what he did. So that gives him some wiggle room, not completely, but it gives him enough wiggle room where he can do what he did in LA, where you can have all types of black industry people go over and do business with him and be able to network and move forward. So that's pretty much what it was done for. If he said nothing, the Pepsi thing would have been the least of his worries. It would have been even more harder. So to make something a bit easier, he did it. Now he gets to choose the partnerships he wants to work with the people he wants to work with in Hollywood.
They wanted Ye to do an apology tour and cry on Oprah. He said he's two sold out shows without me, ugly face crying over what I said. He did not bend the knee. I think just at this time, corporations are not in the position, unless they're going directly through the White House, they are not in the position to have the effect they used to have in the early 2000s and late 90s. I just don't feel that they are that. I gave y'all an example yesterday of Adobe. They got rid of Adobe Animate, didn't tell the artists. There was a big uproar. They immediately put the program back in the suite. That shows you they don't have no power. Otherwise, they would cut off bus routes in certain neighborhoods like they normally do and move on about their day and get a bonus incentive for doing so. But because of that, they really don't know what to do. Kanye West, Sid is right. Kanye West he has always been in a perfect hybrid situation where it's good to be rejected at the top.
Yeah, he it's about
at the top.
It's about timing. Ye is a mainstream artist.
Yeah.
This is not somebody who worked their way up from the independent scene 100%. Never went over there with the Lucian Grange and all of them. Ye was over there with all those people.
Yeah, he was.
And he ejected himself at the right time. There are some people who had mainstream opportunities that ejected themselves, but it was too early. We saw it in the NBA what happened to what's his name again, who was really good. He was the first Steph Curry before we got Steph Curry.
Mahmoud Rauf.
Yeah.
Yes, Mahmoud Rauf.
There were a lot of people back then during that time in the 2000s or in the 90s and all that, people who were mainstream and they got their wings clipped.
They even did it to Kobe.
But with the luck that Ye has it's the timing.
Timing is perfect.
You got your clip from the mainstream at the time where most of society don't care about what mainstream has to say anymore. No. Whereas the other people who got clipped, they got clipped during the time where people still cared what mainstream corporations had to say.
Yeah, right now, it's a free fall. This is why you're seeing corporations lean in on social media censorship. Because, it's about them trying to control what they call as the peanut gallery, and the reason why I laugh at the whole peanut gallery situation is, well, how else are you going to get your museum going? You need the peanuts in the gallery. But
the only danger,
Pepsi is really talking like they're Mountain Dew sponsoring the 1999 X Games. They don't. None of these. They don't have that anymore.
The only danger about though, and this is something we've been talking about for a while, and we're going to remain consistent.
Yes.
The only danger about these fallen mainstream angels coming into the independent scene is there's always the possibility that mainstream people will backstab the independent scene. Because you have these mainstream relationships, these mainstream people coming into the independent space, and sometimes thinking that there's supposed to be some form of competition in this independent space as well. Whereas like people have different personalities, different media types. Like come on now. There are people who are coming with that mindset. And that's also another issue because you got some people who are still worshiping celebrities. And then if those celebrities start to get weak backbones and start to submit to the mainstream again, that's a problem. I mean, we already see even UMG trying to slurp up all the independent scene because right now this is the time to be independent. And so you have sometimes mainstream Trojan horses that are coming into the independent scene where there's a lot of freedom. There's a lot of real support from the audience. Even when we were demonetized on a lot of platforms, our audience was loyal to us. They kept everything afloat.
Yes.
They kept everything 100% G because we kept everything 100% with them. And when we had got a lot of mainstream offers before, every time we negotiated with them, they wanted to have power, wanted to censor how we like to talk or how we like to do things. So we said, vamoose, we just going to keep being independent. No problem. I don't want to be sponsored with nobody who's trying to censor the way Prince and I talk. So that is one danger with the mainstream people coming into the independent space. Are you coming into the independent space being a nanny? Are you coming into the independent space thinking that everybody got to agree with each other? Because people can work together without agreeing 100% on everything. Are you coming in?
Cooperation.
Yeah. Are you coming into the independent space so then you can bring the Lucian Grange and the rest of those people into the independent space? And if mainstream people who come into the independent space do that, then there's no independent space.
No. Yeah. No, that is one thing about it, but you're always going to have like, you're going to have the eager flunky culture and,
See what happened with Kai Cenat too. You talked about this, and I got Strategy King brought it up. I think Kai trying to really be with these mainstream entities, I don't think is a smart move. Like, what's the point? What's the point of being over there when you already was making millions of dollars? You already had a supportive base and supporters. All you got to do, you could have launched your you could have launched your clothing line and brand then.
Kai Cenat was painful for me to watch personally because I thought he had everything. Now, being tired of doing the Mafia-thon and doing the same thing creatively, that part I understood by Kai Cenat. You know, he said, look, I don't want to keep having to dance around and be a monkey all this time. And he said he said there was other creative parts of his identity the public had seen.
He could still do that.
The only thing though with Kai Cenat, you could have introduced your show directly to the audience you had already had active and cooking. I'm not gonna lie to you all. The first time Kevin Hart slid through there, I know there was a running joke that was Kevin Hart's son and that was his nephew and stuff. But when I saw Kevin Hart and Drewski and Kai Cenat running together, I actually remember, I think I told Sin some time ago, I said, I think they're going to bring him into Hollywood. I think they're going to try to have him jump from the Mafia-thon. He's probably going to do a big last one.
I think it was less Drewski, though, because I don't think Drewski cares what Kai did. I think it was... It's the Kevin Hart thing.
Yeah, because they put him in films together. Drewski ain't leaving his internet audience for nothing.
Actually, Drewski was smart. He didn't do what Just Hilarious did.
No.
Drewski stays with the audience that made him, and he's just expanding his territory. Versus Just Hilarious, who like listened to whoever she listened to, and she disconnected herself from the day one audience, which I don't get why.
Because Charlamagne told her to tone it down, all this other stuff, and it is what it is. That's her life, her brand, that's her mentor. But I never liked what Kai Cenat did. I think Kai Cenat, because even the spaces he was going in, first of all, it was too close to, like, it was almost like a baby junior Donda Ye, just without the music. You know, I saw people was roasting him, and I said, look, I'm sure he's under the tutelage of more experienced sharks in the industry that are giving him bad advice about his brand and telling him, and he's believing based on who they know that this is the truth. Y'all got to remember, Kai Cenat is like Soulja Boy for the live streaming universe on steroids. When they had old Hollywood, I didn't like it. I still don't like what happened with his brand.
He's still very young, so he still can wake up and realize, like, they trying to go into your space. You should hold strong where you already at. Also, X said, I'm an independent artist and create paintings, and doing music is too much for me as a female, and I'd rather support different podcasts and streamers than artists that are already millionaires. And look, I also get that too, because like I fuck with you on that, because I really don't trust nobody in the mainstreams, because they've been groomed a behavior to act like little mini versions of Tommy Mottola, Lucien Grange, Doug Morris, and all that. So those are their mentors. Those are their teachers. And so they come into the independent scene with that type of mentality. Too much fame whores. Like, let's keep it honest. Like, a lot of these people who are ass musically famous, they can make anybody famous. There are a lot of independent people who didn't go over there with those people, who didn't take the oaths because of fame. You know, Prince and I tell people all the time, we do not care about fame. I do like what Dave Chappelle said a long time ago when he said, if you can self-sustain yourself and do what you enjoy doing, without having to sell your ass, without having to deal with even some of the things he dealt with. Not the selling ass part, but like how they fucked up the script for Half Baked and all. You are succeeding. And I want people to have that mentality. I don't want people to be seduced by mainstream people telling you to be fame whores or care about. If you can self-sustain doing what you enjoy to do as an independent director, as an independent animator, comedian, then you already winning in life. You don't have to be a globally recognized like Michael Jackson or whoever. In fact, if you got the money and you got the fans, what you and you got yourself fully intact and what you love to do, then you're already winning. Who cares? So that's something that I do like want people to keep in mind. Don't get seduced by Hollywood because Hollywood isn't real. And one of the only reasons why Ye has survived is really because of his skill. All that famous shit, they make anybody could be famous. Who cares? What is going to keep you around is your skill. Is what you're able to produce. Even when Dame Dash talked about one of the things that make Ye's a big deal is what he's able to produce. He's able to produce things. So keep that in mind. Don't get lost in the whole fame, a trap. Who cares? They're only fan women who are very famous. Who cares? No, don't care about that.
No, yeah, it really will be. It's really going to be about production, and now the downside of the era. Now going to what Ed's statement is as an artist, and we always try to tell people post out. We got Unorthodox Fox. She's a dope artist in the chat. I don't think she's in here today, but you shouldn't get discouraged by the amount of people putting out content online because you have to really think about it. Like, are you creating something? Like, are you creating something from scratch? If somebody sits you in front of a tablet, are you able to illustrate something and then have it to be able to convert to the general audience where you can develop consumers? Because people put followers before consumers a lot of time too. And if you're in a space where you're able to get both, that's different. But, we've seen too many times on TikTok where people have 2 million followers. Now, when you need them to consume and financially put into your brand, we've seen stories where 3 people have shown up out of 3 million followers. And, you've seen people, they not understand that what you did, you played the fellowship game, which is cool if you never plan on making any real money off of that. Right now, artists are highly empowered.
Yeah,
highly empowered.
Bye, Strategy King.
Yeah, when Sin and I, you take care, Strategy King. Yeah, when Sin and I started out, like, I don't know, when we had 125 subscribers and we had a few followers on other platforms, we just kept working it because I never just looked at it as like, these are people on the internet, because I know if you put 5 niggas in the room, somebody's going to say, bro, it's too many niggas in here. And I want to leave. I'm going to go somewhere else. So you have to think about, these are real people that you're going to be, that are going to be paying attention, that are potential customers and consumers that you can actually sell your art to directly.
And you have to find the right audience for you too, because like some people got confused, like, well, why didn't y'all try to upscale off of the 2024 battle? Because I don't want nobody to think this is a Kendrick Stan channel or Drake or Cole, whatever. Yeah. No, if you only want to watch people talk about Kendrick all day or Drake all day or Cole all day, you could go find those channels or platforms for you. If you was mistaken that this is what this channel is about, no, it's not. And that's fine. You go find what works for you.
Yeah, that's fine.
And that's also important too, because some people, Prince, they get a little bit irritated because they have moments or these high arcs in their career, but sometimes it's based off of something that's a little bit one-dimensional. And some people, a trendy moment that when the newcomers come, they think, this and you're not. So you gotta
stuck on that wheel,
and you're gonna get stuck on that wheel. So you gotta let go.
Every video connected to Kendrick or Drake,
right?
And that's fine if that's what you want to do.
This ain't the Bermuda Triangle, so hell fucking no.
No. There are things you could upscale on, and I'm glad you brought up the 2024 battle. Sid and I, we put some material out in 2025, but we didn't want to upscale based on that because the feverish nature of the event was too much,
and it's gonna have a crash,
right?
And then when the coke high is over and the realism sets in, you don't want to be like, hell no.
You don't want your brand consumed in that tar pit. I think all of the people in the battle performed the best to their ability, but Sid and I didn't want to be wrapped up and enshrouded in that because it can be very easy. That can happen to you. That's why. You see when people make mistakes publicly, like the reason why I said what I said about TLC, I'm not of the mindset that I look at TLC any more different than Rick Ross. It's just that she's a woman. Now, the only difference is because of her features and how she looked, people didn't know that's how Chili has always been like that. We've always kind of known that's what she's been like, right? What I was really pointing at is that Chili don't have that type of brand because she's going to be trying to apologize because the type of people that are coming to see TLC, they don't want to think about her political concerning Trump or things of that nature. And also,
well, that's a great point because she didn't reveal who she truly was.
Yeah, so that wasn't the case. It was a shocking. That's what I'm saying.
You built a Black female Democrat. You didn't build up, and that's why I'm saying is to that point. That's what we're saying here. Like you got to be very careful with curating the right type of audience. Otherwise, it's going to be hell for you. I let people know this is about freedom of expression. I don't care what religion you're a part of. I don't care if you're gay or straight. I don't care about your background or nothing. Prince and I are going to speak honestly, and we're going to do what we're going to do as two grown adults, and y'all going to do what y'all going to do. We exchange philosophy. We exchange commentary. We talk about each other's principles. Sometimes they match, sometimes they don't. But the whole point is about honest discussion, not things being pigeonholed by somebody's fandom for one particular celebrity or pigeonholed by somebody's political allegiance to the Democratic Party or to the Republican Party. That's not what we are about. So hell no. So definitely, and Chili getting in trouble because she didn't express who she truly was. And so now the audience that you're curated with TLC for over a decade is now being challenged by your true identity. Although Prince and I already long time ago knew Chili was about this, but to be fair to the people who support her, they work in their jobs. They don't give a fuck about what Chili is doing until she said she reposted on Instagram Michelle Obama is a man.
Yeah, and I understood what people were saying, and when you start bringing up to me about, well, what about Rick Ross? What about Snoop Dogg? Not the same brands. Now, if you're talking about the hypocrisy about how they deal with men and women publicly, especially in Black space, Black culture, we can have that conversation. But I'm also going to institute into the conversation. She has a completely different brand where expectations are different. Not because she's just a woman, it's because who the fuck TLC is. So she got out there, some hillbilly shit, right? And what you led with wasn't that I don't agree with Trump, but I support what his administration has done with the veterans. Now, that can be a reasonable political disagreement. You know what your barefoot ass did? Michelle Obama is a gorilla nigga.
I think that
shocked the shit
out of people who aren't from Atlanta or haven't been paying attention to her. Also, X said, I think it's unfair for people to drag in La Russell because he was being honest too, but wanted to twist what his song was actually saying without listening to it. I do agree with you, X, that La Russell should not be canceled. But the roasting was deserved because he used Heaven Sent incorrectly. If he would have used it correctly on what it meant, I think it would have been easy for him to even defend himself, because he'd be like, look, I used it in the right context. He really got cooked by people because he used it in the wrong context, and then became mad and angry at other people. If he would have been like, look, my bad, I used Heaven Sent incorrectly, but this is what I really meant with the song. Thank y'all for, correcting me. Maybe that's what my engineer was talking about. Maybe my engineer knew what Heaven Sent meant and I didn't, and that's why he told me I don't think it's a good idea to put it up, because probably he was thinking I'm using it wrong.
Well, also LaRussell, another one that don't get it. Player, people don't know you. They know Jay-Z. Most people that LaRussell has crashed into their algorithm. Now, I knew about LaRussell for about 5 years, so I've listened to his tracks on and on again.
Just to the KB Toys music on and on.
Yeah, I liked his stuff he did with Hit Boy. But the backlash is you are being introduced to a new audience that don't know you, and it is very rocky. And my thing is that LaRussell, my personal opinion, his emotional response was very unreasonable from a reasonable consumer perspective. You may have had a situation where now that after you stood next to Jay-Z because he's the bigger brand, people, if you hadn't done the Heaven Sent thing incorrectly, like Sid stated, they probably would have just checked your stuff out and maybe put a song or two in a little workout playlist and move on.
And also,
something very simple. And
also, look, I'm gonna be honest, there was black children and stuff there. I do not want black children to be introduced to Jeffrey Epstein by him being Heaven Sent, especially when they really know anything about the guy. And black people were making me laugh because they's like, look, when I think of LaRussell, I think of like a cookout. So like when I went to like a family event, I don't want
all the big aunties in the video.
I'm going to a family event. I do not want to hear about no fucking Epstein or no damn Hitler. Like I'm going there to eat some barbecue chicken, some barbecue ribs. I'm going here for
some
macaroni and cheese.
Come on now,
baked macaroni and cheese. You get what I'm saying?
And that's you up here holding up the show.
Yeah,
for a 30-minute prayer for Epstein.
When I go and I look at Ye, I know he gonna rant. Okay, that's in his brand. I know what I'm getting. In Modal Technique, he gonna bring up Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, I know what I'm getting. If you know, it's just like you know what you getting when you go into certain people. People thought, yo, I'm getting KB Toys, and we about to get some baked mac and cheese. They didn't think LaRussell was gonna be talking about no damn Jeffrey Epstein and no Hitler.
Well, even if that's the case, LaRussell's biggest incentive to the general public, the biggest brand pillar, two of them, is that number one, he's independent, and he will be riding off of the legacy of being a Bay Area artist. So we already are going to be checking in for a certain sound, right? We don't expect you get on stage and start talking about Jeffrey Epstein. That's like me going to an E40 concert and he's like, yo, y'all pause the show. Let's talk about God body showing up in the form of Epstein. People like, yo, 40, what you talking about, Water?
Yo, we'd be fucking surprised,
like, boo this nigga.
And we'd be like, what does Jeffrey Epstein gotta do with you, E40?
Nigga, I want you to say, tell me when to go.
Tell me when to go. Boom.
So my only thing about these guys,
I didn't know LaRussell was a shock jock. Also, we have a super chat.
Yeah. Go ahead. What's the super chat?
All right, let me scroll up. I thought it was already on your screen. Chili was Heaven Sent, even you. We all Heaven Sent from Ariel Smoke.
Shouts out to Ariel. Look, it's just a brand thing that I don't know. It's just weird to me. And then when he sat down, I think he sat down with DJ Head, and I give it to Gina. She was trying to have a deeper conversation, but LaRussell was very strong on being presented as one-dimensional. I don't know the guy, but he was very strong on being presented as one-dimensional. And I said, brother, you're gonna have to get out your ego, because I feel like this. There are people like he loves the criticism. Sometimes it get under his skin. But when 50 throws a rock and a third of the demons be like, we didn't like what you did, he doubles down.
Yeah, 50 Cent has actually the same mindset as Conquest from Invincible.
Yeah.
Meaning that 50 Cent gets uncomfortable with love.
Yeah.
If someone be like, man, 50, I just love you, it may make him have all teeth for a moment, but he gets uncomfortable.
So I break something.
When people he like or don't like be like, yo, I don't like you, nigga. That's where he's comfortable. He's like, relief. So, you know, yes. So let's get to it then.
So the reason why I'm saying this with La Russell, because La Russell was getting sensitive for getting a bit of the 50 Cent antagonism from the audience. But he's also not doing things to relieve himself of that pain. There are people that they do stuff like Candace Owens, she don't blink. She says something, the public don't like it. She says, tune in next time. But with La Russell, he clearly was irritated when Gina was talking to him about it. And then he told the audience on Twitter, all right, y'all can leave me alone now. I'm just leaving it to my supporters. I said, well, okay, so clearly it's bothering you. So if is it causing some headache somewhere, then you might want to adjust publicly. But he's also stubborn. He's like a little small bull. You get what I'm saying? So I always think that's interesting with that. When I see 50 sending them cut up.
But I still don't have a problem with La Russell. Like, I just think it was funny. I'm sorry, we're black, so he was getting roasted. I even thought it was funny when people said they was going to block because they tired of his,
a lot of niggas block.
They tired of his stupid head going down their timeline. But it's still.
He said, "Come on, take a walk with me." I said, "Yo, he's here to troll y'all."
I like him because he's not doing anything beyond he's not doing nothing detrimental to the degree where I gotta be like, yo, get the fuck out of my face. It's more of just humor. It's roasting him. He do stupid. He do like dumb. I wouldn't say Elmo, but Sesame Street shit. He does like goofy Sesame Street shit, and I just think it's funny.
He's doing things that where black people say, "Nigga, shut up." That's all he's doing.
X, I do agree with you. That's a great point. My advice to La Russell: don't stop, keep going, and create an album about why he wanted to bring up the topic Heaven Sent.
Call the album Heaven Sent.
I would call the album Heaven Sent and have like a Barney design on the cover. Even you. When he went off of social media, I did not like that. I'd be like, you have all the attention on you now. You went to Gina.
That goes back to my point,
everybody had fun. You know, you could, keep it going. Do some fun stuff. You
see what my point is? My point is that you got all of this going. Why are you leaving?
Could have had a song also on the album saying after you have the Heaven Sent song, you got maybe I fucked up. Boom, boom, dum, dum. Fucked up. Boom. Maybe I fucked up. Like you just should have just kept it going.
Fucked up. We all fucked up.
And had different Oakland producers on it. We all fucked up.
We all fucked up. In this day, keep your hair strong and Russell nigga. These niggas are squares. They got an end on their chest for what? Nothing.
We all fucked up.
Tell them niggas no. Tell them niggas no. No.
Yeah, I mean, bro, it wasn't a big deal with
that's the only thing that confused
where you need to go offline.
Now, I just thought La Russell was funny. But I told you guys, if you guys go back early on in the Blackout show, I said, well, y'all gonna find out, because Shin knows I've watched a lot of his interviews. I said, nah, La Russell's a little bit different. When the public found out, they was like, bro. But I thought La Russell was just building his equity and standing strong there. But when he logged off the internet, I was a little confused. I was like, so it's bothering you?
Yeah, why? Why would it bother you? You wanted the attention, you got it. Now alchemize it into something else.
Because that was a bold statement to say Epstein was heaven sent. I was like, you be bold. I think you should stand on the internet with it. He not like me. I would have went live on Instagram, took some questions. You get what I'm saying?
He was being a little bit snotty about his engineer, though. He said he basically seemed like he was saying my engineer is not as close to me as other people, and the people closer to me didn't have an issue with it. I'm like, bro, he's helping your music sound good. Who cares what anybody else says? Why in the music industry engineers get shitted on?
Oh,
it's very weird to me.
They've been doing that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Even during the Death Row records, I don't understand why in hip hop people don't respect engineers. Like they literally,
because it's not as sexy as the beat maker.
They literally help you sound the best of your capability. Why in hip hop are we so disrespectful to engineers? Sound engineers.
Yeah, man, they break their hands and stuff. It's a cold-blooded game. You do that to me, if I don't sue you, I'm putting a hit on you. I don't give a fuck how long it take me to pay the hitman off.
Like
putting a hit on your ass, nigga. If you hurt my fingers and I'm producing, I'm organizing your album, and you having a drug binge emotional fit. I can't sue you. I'm putting a hit on you.
Is there any sound engineers in the chat? Let's talk about this. Why in hip hop are y'all so disrespected? And LaRussell is not the first time I heard a sound engineer being disrespected. I heard the rumors with Death Row Records, with Bad Boys.
Sound engineers are usually more reserved and studious versus like a beatsmith or a beat maker, or even producers who don't do beats or producers who do beats, right? But people like talking shit to sound engineers. They're the gold standard. They are the difference in your album sounding fire or not. But I done heard all types of shit. I done heard stories of niggas throwing sound engineers through windows, and I was like, hell no, I could never be. I looked into doing sound engineering one time. And there's some stuff you could study, concerning even dealing with podcasting and editing.
You can do it for yourself.
You do it for yourself, but I wouldn't want to be up in no studio with funky.
So you was in the studio a few times.
Yeah.
Was you ever in the studio at the same time as a sound engineer?
Yeah.
And
I have friends that were engineers, engineers.
And so when you was in the studio with them, what did the rappers do or say to them in the studio?
Rappers usually have tried to direct them in shit they don't know about.
All right, give me an example.
A dumbass rapper may be like, yo, turn my vocals up. Nigga, you may just have cheap headsets.
That's why I have heard certain rap songs sound mixed poorly.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, were these people like beating up on the sound engineer? Or
sometimes the engineers will get back at you that way.
Mm.
Yeah, no, they'll fuck up your final mix, but you didn't already pay. Sound engineers, there's some guys online. When I get a chance now after this, I'm gonna see if I can post it for you all on the Patreon. It's gonna be on the free tier. Every sound engineer I've come in contact with, they've had horror stories with famous artists.
Okay, so what other things you've seen rappers do ignorantly with sound engineers?
Bringing guns in the studio.
Why do sound engineers even still deal with rappers?
Well, I know some sound engineers, they said they would never work with rappers again. They said they'll never work with rappers again. Because you got to think about some of the rappers, they come in with their little money or their little sponsor pack, like I'm going to put, 10 stacks down. Can you mix this up real quick, right? And they get it out. And the clientele is a little bit more frequent because how many niggas think they can rap? But you also got to deal with sometimes the shitty culture that comes with
your friends. What did they do at a lot of the negative encounters with rappers as sound engineers? Did they go on to other spaces?
One of them I knew went on to a different space. Another guy, they didn't know his family was really gang affiliated. He was gang affiliated, but his family was gang. So he had to have some of his cousins in the studio, and he had to he let the rappers know that if you do anything, you won't make it out this studio.
So one sound engineer had mafia and gangbangers as family.
Around,
He's affiliated with them.
Because a few of the rappers,
and he would bring his cousins in the studio to prevent the rappers from beating
too
them.
big head, because you know they were about killing rappers. And I say I support that. Rappers need to understand that they die. No, for real. Like rappers get arrogant. You always remind them, nigga, you can die.
So he had his cousins in the studio, and then what happened? Did the rappers
came in, cool, they was calm, collected, they were like, yo, what's up? Because his cousins were so intimidating. They didn't look like small guys, like these are big niggas. And they were,
But also that means he got his money then too, because didn't they say sometimes they don't be paying the sound engineer?
They be dissing the shit out of them. Yeah. That's why you got a lot of engineers, they would, if they can, they would prefer to float to other situations. And people sleep on, there was an influx of the soundtrack culture, where you'll see guys, they'll be like, you know what? Let me go do independent films.
Well, X, she said she's one of them. Laughing out loud. That's why I rather work with the youth that want to make rock or more melodic or Christian music.
And they pay better
than rap because it's more positive.
No, X is right. The Christian artists, they pay. Christian artists, they pay. You get in there with a dumbass rap, you can even give them a local hit and they acting shitty.
That's because the rappers fit with the devil.
And the rappers don't know when you get an engineer that understands your vocals. Here they go. I can find another one.
No, you can't.
No, you can't. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. Also, Antarctica said, it gets that real. A good portion of them be letting the patriarchy and class superiority complex get to their head.
No, the sound engineers, like, okay, give you an example early on. 50 Cent has a thing where he doesn't have that much bass in his voice. So they even had a sound engineer that they had to make his voice a little deeper on the Get Rich or Die Trying album, because if you listen to 50 talk, he doesn't really have like
the sound engineer, whoever you are, who worked and mixed for a Get Rich or Die Trying, they did a great job with 50 Cent's voice.
Now, some of the sound engineers that, now I'm gonna be fair, some of them that said that some of the rappers they've enjoyed, they said they liked when the rapper was sitting next to them and they was saying, can you make my collaborate?
Who had that type of good relationship with a sound engineer?
I've heard a lot of positive things about Scarface.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of sound engineers have said Scarface was really great to work with.
Yeah, I've heard that. Seven Streeter, I've heard some good things about her. I've heard, we've heard bad things about the certain Chicago niggas. One of the niggas kept going to sleep on the mic with the lean, and they're trying to get him to perform. You know? Tupac, you hear stories of, like, you go online, you can read the stories about him being very demanding, but people didn't understand at the time, although he had some of the shitty death row culture that came along with him. But when Tupac was in his own stride, if you watch his videos when he's in the studio, he actually has a producer's mind. So he's actually like, he's directing. He's not saying he can sing for the woman, but he's saying, I need you to say it this way. That's a producer. They're putting the elements and assets.
So sound engineers, like co-creators who can work with them on how they want something, but trust the sound engineer to make it happen. Or for someone, if you don't know,
sit down with people and just be right there, assisting and curating. At times he can take lead direction, but the sound engineer was like, okay, this is what I'll generate. They say Eminem, he does, not Eminem, Jay-Z. They say Jay-Z does all of the vocals. He leaves it up to the sound engineer and he steps out of the room. And whatever you make is that. They say Eminem is a lot more meticulous. He'll be right there. But I've heard a lot of horrible stories about rappers and sound engineers. And I've seen one guy, there was one of the guys that said he was working with Diddy, And
oh my God.
he said,
oh my God, what sound engineer would go over there? Oh my God.
He said he didn't really know what to expect with Diddy. They had booked the session already.
Because they said Diddy be trapping like even famous people in the room. What is a poor sound engineer going to do?
Yeah, so
oh my goodness,
the
God
guy
bless
looked
them.
up and he saw for the booking session, Diddy's name was on the list. So he's like, well, I guess I got to prepare myself.
Bro, like what preparation are you? Can you even prepare?
You can't. Yeah, no, I've like whether between Texas and in Atlanta, like sound engineers that said, look, I'll like X brought up, there's a lot of them said, I'll just go do the Christians, or I'll work with, like she said, the children. Because, you know, there's stories where people, you got to think about somebody that's a sound engineer. Not all the times you're going to get something like people that come from a background where they're coming from the hood, they've been around violence. A lot of times, even if they live in these environments, they're going to be very studious people because it's an engineering
No, I know
feat,
what you're
right?
saying.
So
a lot of people don't know that even people from the hood, whatever, it doesn't matter the bad environment, if they had a skill that it needs their full attention,
they don't have time.
They don't have time. Like what you were saying, even the guy who had gang members as family members.
Yeah.
But he spent all of his time perfecting being a sound engineer.
That's all he was doing.
That's why he needed his cousins to come and back him up in the studio.
Right? So let's say you get somebody that goes to Savannah School of Art and Design, right? They do their programs, they do their prereqs, they get their degree or they get their certificate. They are master in knowing their tools and they're online constantly doing tutorials. So you take their studious asses and then you get them in a situation where they got to deal with niggas like The Game and all of his niggas running around the studio and shit. Now, I've talked to several, they was like, I love hip hop, but I don't want to engineer.
No, I know. But to me, when you even mention people like The Game, what I think about is like niggas in the studio drinking, smoking, somebody saying, go get me a honey bun, or like, go get me something from the store.
Yeah.
You know, some people being rowdy. Like I could just only imagine how bad it could be.
I was talking to where he had a story when he was doing some of his courses while he was still in high school, but he was also doing some courses at the college. He went in with a session because they'll have apprenticeship. So he went in with a session and they were doing rap. The rapper brings hookers in the studio.
What? Wow.
And so the boy said he's like he didn't know how to do it, and the engineer said, "Man, just keep your head down and work." And he said the environment was starting to look unsafe because like goons are kind of like coming in the studio.
But also no offense, but like who wants to smell ass when they're trying to get their work done?
Hey, some of them, and it's not just them, but on the other side of it, some of the other people in different spaces. Rockheads, like it just depends. You just don't know.
No, there were some sound engineers who said more so with the hair bands.
Yeah, the hair bands.
They had issues with the hair bands because they would have strippers and alcohol and drugs throughout the studio session. Yeah.
No, a lot of them. Look, let's be real. The rappers, they for a long time they love disrespecting the DJs. They love assaulting producers. They love, you know what makes them evil about the engineer that I never really liked? They knew for an engineer, their hands, that's their food. And I've heard so many stories of people in the industry trying to break engineers' hands. That's what I said. If it ain't the lawsuit, we gonna do the other thing. You get what I'm saying? So that's why when Homeboy brought his family in there, I said, no, I agree 100%. Because some of these old ignorant ass rappers don't know what they doing. Guns go off in the studio, or they talking about they want to relive Death Row, talking about we're breaking engineers' hand.
Well, during the Death Row era, they said that there was some sound engineers that they was making them drink pee.
They did make them drink pee. That was a ritual shit I used to do, and Tupac used to laugh about it.
That shit is so gross.
And the guy that said, I forget what his name, he was a bass guitar player, excuse me. He said people got angry at him.
Where did they get the pee from?
any one of them niggas with all that dirty chronic in their
So
system.
you know when ASAP was talking about he went into the room,
I know slipping in that stuff.
and guys was jerking off and he was slipping on semen. So you mean to tell
You
me
got your butt up in the air
back
shower
in the day,
and niggas are jerking off.
and Death Row, they were peeing in cups?
Yeah. But that ain't, let me tell y'all something. That's old school shit. They've been doing that. They've been making men and women drink piss. Right? So it was a ritual to humiliate a nigga to make him drink piss.
So sound engineers was drinking pee in the studio.
Some of them were forced, allegedly, or they'll push it in their face.
Like throw the
Piss in
pee
their
in
face. Now you smell like piss.
This is gross.
Or like one of the guys that came out and he said he didn't like Tupac. People got irritated because Tupac's a god in hip hop, right? He said he remembered when they were beating a engineer in the studio because how they were laying the vocals.
But if you don't like the sound engineer and you just feel like he's not skillful enough, why don't you just get another one? Instead of just making somebody drink pee. Let me go also. Wow.
You jump me in the studio, I'm burning the whole Death Row record studio up.
But you said that they could get killed though. Because they were gang members in there, right?
Of course.
So that means if the people, and also if you forced to drink pee, I'm sure somebody's holding the person down.
Well, look, Suge got a story about Dr. Dre. And he said they took a guy upstairs and they made him drink piss. Like Suge even said he might have drank a pint of piss.
That's just crazy.
So he made him drink it. Y'all can go find it. Shouts out to Art of Dialogue. Go check it out. It's on, I can't remember which video, but it's on Art's channel. But I heard this story before from people that worked in the industry. So they said after they beat the guy, made him have to drink that, they said allegedly Dr. Dre said, we need to blank him. You know what I mean?
Going on to more friendlier things. What have you heard besides Scarface being really wonderful, the sound engineers? Else, just in the music industry, period, who were like really cooperative, really great to work with for a sound engineer? Just in case we have any sound engineers listening who want to have some type of positive guide on where to go. And yes, all the pee and all that other stuff, allegedly. Go ahead, Prince.
Big Boy from Outkast, they said he's very meticulous.
So I don't know why, but I feel like if like a sound engineer would go into a studio with Big Boy, it smell like lavender.
Yeah, because it's probably the color he wear all the time.
He probably would want it to be more peaceful.
Yeah.
Maybe you get to eat a little bit of some barbecue chicken wings or something.
Some people, I heard stories about people being nervous about Pimp C, but then when they sat in the studio with him, they found out he was actually pretty chill. You know, and he did a lot of production himself too. So, you know, but most of the bad tales I've heard came from like rappers bringing stuff in the studio,
right?
And
more of the positive ones.
Like Estelle. I've heard positive stories about Estelle.
Her vocals have every time I hear a song from her.
Yeah,
her vocals are always nice. I mean, I love hearing her sing. Again, shout out to all the talent out there in the UK. So they said with Estelle, she always had like a good rapport with sound engineers.
They said Ludacris kept a clean and professional environment. You know, I didn't really hear to. Let me see who else there was. I knew somebody that did some stuff with the Cool Kids. They said they was pretty chill. You know, there was somebody that said they said MF Doom was very sporadic. Like they couldn't really tailor a schedule down with him. Yeah,
I can see MF Doom not showing up for his own studio time sometimes.
Yeah, you know. So There's some decent stories. So you got the other stuff, but sound engineers are very important. But I knew some that they decided to go into doing engineering for like short films and independent films too. And
what are some of the sound engineers' experience in the movie industry from what you heard?
Some of them just saying them guaranteeing contracts sometimes. Yeah.
I guess it seems like people for probably films.
Yeah.
You know what? And hopefully this is not being said out of ignorance, but usually the perverts in Hollywood are more focused on where the actors and writers are.
That is
somewhere else.
Now, despite what people are saying, but like that's why I said, if you like AP or you're an engineer or you're an editor or you cinematographer or you're a colorist, you do like modulating color. You can kind of be like off of your own space a little bit more. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's not as attention driven. Because being a video editor, a film editor, it's not a sexy job. Even think about the Oscars when they say, and the Oscar goes to for best editor. A lot of times they don't even showcase that award. They don't showcase the speech. It just be on YouTube, So that kind of tells you how like.
Why is it not sexy?
Because the glamour is not around it like the star is, or the co-star.
They create the glamour.
But that's not what's promoted in Hollywood, though. It's not part of pop culture.
For anyone in Hollywood to look good, it's the people behind the scenes that make them look good.
I mean, but you got to talk about people. I mean, how you got to think about this thing.
You can't.
How often do people think about?
You can't look good as the shiny object without the team behind you.
Yeah, that's true. But in essence, we're talking about not you and I. We're talking about like the average consumer. Like, how often does the average consumer think about light directors? They don't. They'll just think like, damn, you know what? Issa Rae's skin is really clear.
Well, that's why I said in rap videos, I would like for them to have a lot of the background people be in the description box, because there are a lot of people who are interested in.
Chance the Rapper does that a lot. I think I appreciate him does that in videos. I think T.I. did it recently. A lot of rappers don't really do it, but the guys that lean more towards the theater art kid energy, Chance and Kendrick and all them niggas, and even Doechii, they usually credit everybody in the videos on YouTube.
Yeah, because that's what I like. It has nothing to, I like to see, because I'll be like, wow, this person did a great job. I want to see who was a part of doing this, because
I like to follow them on Instagram and stuff. And you usually see what type of work that they have. But, photographers, light directors, cinematographers, script writers, treatment artists, it's a background set designers. It's a huge culture. Yeah. It's a huge culture.
Yeah. I mean,
on the grander levels, all you got to do is watch any documentary on the making of a Star Wars film, and you'll just see how expansive everything is.
But you know what's amazing about Star Wars? I feel like with George Lucas at the helm at the time, I think everybody got to be seen.
Yeah.
The sound engineers got to be seen. The writers got to be seen.
They even had a guy that was
the one who did the people who did the musical score. Like everybody.
One guy said they gave him like 45 minutes freedom to talk, and they said, "So what is it that you do?" Well, what I do is I design the mini props on the set.
So tell me about the mini props on the set. And we want to give you 45 minutes because we feel everybody who worked on this project was very important. So how did you come up with the concept of the mini props?
Well, George Lucas is just an amazing guy. He's a genius. One thing about it, he knows exactly what he wants. My father worked on Empire Strikes Back.
Really?
He was a miniature set designer, prop artist himself.
So this is a generational thing.
Yeah, you can kind of say so.
Okay, so
the
what?
pay is great.
So where did you get the where did you formulate the designs from to even get these many props?
Well, we took some sketches. Some of the concept art was influenced by West African mythology.
Wow, like what?
The Anansi spider. We created some of the fighter jets. That was based on that. And you would have that in the documentary, that 45 minutes of that. And
Yeah,
that's what I like. I used to watch all of that.
Star Wars films, I will say the early films with George Lucas, they did credit everybody. Every little fucking person got to have screen time.
Yes,
Like, the lighter. So you was in charge of doing the lighting.
Yes.
And we want to also give you 45 minutes. First of all, tell us how important lighting is.
It's literally the difference between a captivating scene, like when Luke's father confronts him in front of Darth Sidious, and you don't want it too bright because it's just happiness there. Well, first of all, my lighting, it was inspired by when I went to go see Phantom of the Opera with my wife, my first wife.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on wife number 4, but yes, with my first wife. And I thought in the moment, and I immediately went back to George Lucas and I said, George, think Phantom of the Opera. And at the time, he's like, I don't get it. So then I showed it to him on VHS.
Oh, that's why I had that theater feel to it.
Yes.
Okay, so you're inspired by theater and opera, and wow, I see it.
Yeah,
because it was very Shakespearean, the lighting for that scene. Wow.
That's why when people talk about like going into Hollywood, look, I'm not going to denote people that want to be stars or actors, so I don't get into like putting down people that thespians. And if you do animation, you're going to have some level of thespianism within your work, because you're going to have to know how to, puppet characters correctly, right? But when people used to say they were going to Hollywood, not everybody was going to be a star. People were going to be light directors, cinematographers. People wanted to be set designers. People wanted to do other things on the set of a show or a movie. So I just think it's interesting how like they just truncated to, whether they like Scarlett Johansson and white liberal fall off the mountain.
I think, one mainstream superstar though that surprised people who give a lot of background people credit was Tom Cruise.
Yes, yeah. No, it's I mean, look, the arts are the arts. It's like somebody bringing up Lion King. You see Lion King on Broadway, the level of work that goes into a production like that, you have to respect it, And I just think, I do think a part of that is culture. I don't think it's completely missing.
Some of it is missing in hip hop because we, even with Benzino Flaw, Weirdo Ass, Source Magazine used to do that. Like we had the writers, we had we even had legendary artists connected to the Source Magazine. We talked to them before on the show. We'll put some of the older interviews and stuff on the Patreon for people to see. Yeah. But there used to be a part in hip hop where like
there was effort.
Everybody who did something, there were moments where it's like, yo, it was so fun and interesting to see the everyone collaborate and then the final product, which is weird where it's becoming more self-centered more than ever before. You already had it.
It's a little aggravating as an artist for me personally.
Because we already had moments of it being very self-centered in the 90s, but then it's gotten worse.
No, you're right about that. That is one thing. Sin, what's also missing is the behind the scenes culture. We have behind the tea culture now.
And I also blame celebrities for that. Like y'all, scenes cultures, y'all becoming so damn boring.
Right.
Artistically boring.
Yeah.
Because they like becoming too much divas.
Yeah.
A lot of like the hip hop artists. That's why the gossip culture is becoming even stronger. Before it was balanced. You had gossip culture in the past too, but you had things that satisfied people's nerddom though. Like we were like even when we were talking about the magazines on comic books on who people thought they would want to play Cyclops or
the casting that you should see in Wizard magazine, fan casting.
Right, like there was a lot of background behind the scenes interest.
Yeah,
now a lot of the pettiness that a lot of the celebrities engage in. Yeah, like even look at the Blake Lively thing and
I still don't know the name of that movie.
And I don't either. And Justin Baldoni.
Yeah.
I don't watch anything with Blake Lively, so I don't know much about her. And I don't know much about Justin Baldoni. But I do know that their drama supersedes whatever movies and other stuff they do, right? It's in the foreground. So that's why I say, like, when people run to blame the fans, I'll be like, you celebrities have gotten even more full of yourselves, and y'all drama, y'all be spilling it front and center, which is why and it's very distracting to the audience. The audience will be like, we'll go from talking about films or whatever to then like, oh, I mean, people are going to talk about this drama. They're going to talk about, people having these issues with each other, especially when they make it public.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, you don't really see, like, you have to go on YouTube or if you still got like DVD players where like on the DVD collections, they got the behind the scenes of, the old Hercules show or behind the scenes.
Xena Warrior Princess.
Xena Warrior, or even whatever film you was into, Mission Impossible 2, the behind the scenes, how we had Tom Cruise hanging this way. I don't know where Hollywood got in their mind that people would no longer are interested in those things, because when you go on YouTube and you get like
Black also brought up deleted scenes. Yeah, I like that too.
Deleted scenes, like
that's one thing I like that Kendrick did.
Yeah.
When we got To Pimp a Butterfly, and then we got Untitled with
deleted scenes from To Pimp a Butterfly.
For the songs that couldn't make it on the album. I like that type of shit because I'm like, I like to hear the music that didn't make it to the final cut. And I wish more artists would do that. And you could sell it. It's up to you. If you want to sell it as an album or whatever, or mixtape. But I would like for more artists to show us the songs that didn't make it to the final cut.
Those are called the scrapbooks. That's a scrapbook culture. Remember the rough draft. Untitled was raw, right? But Kendrick, he moves like an old school person.
Nas, Black McBain brought it up too. Nas with Lost Tapes.
Yeah, the Lost Tapes.
I liked when Nas did that. Yeah, with the Lost Tapes.
And it ended up being a classic for him. Black Zombies, The Color Purple, all of that stuff. But I don't know what to say. And I don't know. I do think, is there too much green screening? Because when you show like behind the scenes, a lot of times it's a different actor hanging from the same ropes in front of a same green screen. But that's why I appreciated Black Panther. And this is why, for me, Ryan Coogler, as far as dealing with large set environments, I rate him very high because you get a chance to interview Ruth Carter as the costume designer. She's a legendary costume designer.
They go into
Ludwig Göransson as a composer,
cinematographer.
Right? The only other person I think that would compliment him, but he's a veteran at this point, would be Christopher Nolan. But Ryan Coogler deals with a lot of large set environments that people don't give him credit for.
I love Ryan Coogler. You're right.
Give you to the art books behind all of that.
He gives the background behind the scenes people credit.
Yeah.
He definitely acknowledges all the blood, sweat, and tears, and they are always seen.
Yeah, and remember, like, you used to get compendiums where like with Zootopia, right? So with that form of animation, you'll get like people will be looking forward to the art book, the art of Zootopia, the art of Beauty and the Beast, and it usually be these 300-page books. I think the last one I had a chance to read was Into the Spider-Verse. The art book was beautiful, right? you don't really have that much of that pertaining to films like you used to. Like Black Panther, they had the art of Black Panther for Volume 1 and Volume 2.
And he did it with Sinners too.
And he does, Sinners as well. So these are things that will make a person further intrigued with the property. They want to know Ryan. What I like that Ryan Coogler, he moves like a director from the 90s and 80s, where he even allows people to download the original script and read through it.
Which is so fucking cool. And also to add to it too, I like Birthday Blizzard. I love DJ Clue being given his flowers. I thought J. Cole's lyricism was immaculate. But I am hoping that we get the tracks that didn't make it to the fall off.
Yeah.
Like we get a set of
Call it the Fallen.
Right.
Yeah.
He called it the Fallen.
Yeah.
So all the tracks
Fallen Unmastered.
And the features that didn't make it to the original cut, I want to hear the Fallen where we get all the singles and we can hear, okay, what didn't make it. And I would like, again, for a lot of artists to do their own forms of deleted scenes, deleted tracks that didn't make it to the final cut, that we get to hear all of these Lucy's packaged and together.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Well, you know, what Kendrick released, where Nas had like those unreleased records that are like from different eras of Nas.
Even the alleged documentary we're supposed to be getting for I Am, right?
Yeah, they said, I don't know if he's still working on it, but he was supposed to be getting
and the double disc too.
Double disc. It was supposed to be how he wanted I Am and Nostradamus, how he originally intended before bootlegs.
I would love for artists to do what ifs.
Yeah.
Like when industry things get in the way. Like I even love the fact, I loved when Monica and Brandy later in their careers they did a collaborative album because they've been wanting to do it.
Yes.
I do like that. Like if Nas drops that.
With DJ Premier.
Yeah.
That
was nice.
That was a long time with him.
We ain't gonna get it with him and well, you never know.
I think
maybe with Pete Rock, Pete Rock and Nas will make up.
I believe we're gonna get an AZ and Nas album.
With Pete Rock?
Could be. He shouted him out on the last album. So I do believe we're going to watch, y'all. We're going to get a Nas and AZ album. Going back to what you said, though, and Steve, you're right in the chat. The reason why these assets that we're talking about is very important. It inspires artists.
Also,
it
Prince
inspires artists. That's what it's supposed to do. You're supposed to inspire the artists that come to look at your art. Go ahead.
Ye and Lauryn Hill might actually do an EP with each other or a song or something. They showed it on X yesterday. And remember, we was talking on the Blackout stream, the one we did yesterday or 2 days ago, where we said, you know, it looks like they might be doing some music together. So we'll see what happens.
Lauren.
So there are people doing the what ifs, and while they still alive,
you better.
While people are still alive, they better do them what ifs.
You don't want people looking back and being angry. Michael and Whitney. What?
The record label stopped them from doing a collaborative song together.
But yeah, like, you know, I don't. Oh, what I was gonna say about what Kendrick did. They were like sessions.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite things that.
That's what they said they were claiming they were supposed to do with GNX.
The GNX sessions.
They said the GNX sessions and documentaries supposed to come out.
I would love to hear that. I would love to hear what could have been the alternative versions of either one of those tracks.
And I think we're supposed to eventually begin the documentary of the fall off, and then the whole Honda Civic rollout during the album too.
I do think sometimes rappers think in a limiting fashion, because Miles Davis has the classic album Witch's Brew, but he also got the Witch's Brew Sessions. And I think it's like 6 discs. And it sounds fantastic. And it's a body of work of what could have been. He had the sessions of In a Silent Way. And same thing you've seen with, you know, Duke Ellington and all these other guys, right? Even Michael Jackson on when they did the anniversaries of Thriller, you had the Thriller sessions. Like,
oh man, those Thriller sessions are amazing.
Yeah, and you're like, oh man, I didn't know he was beatboxing that part.
Yeah, right, and then also the different types of his vocal capabilities too.
Yes, yeah, people sleep on that, but I do think I would
then
like
you had Quincy Jones, big forehead, so
yeah,
you know,
Michael.
Yes,
Michael.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna redo that last one.
I did it good the first time.
You sounded fantastic. I just need you to do like 30 more seconds, Mike.
Okay, come on.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Where did you come from, baby? And ooh, won't you take me there? Gotta get.
All right, you got it. Perfect. And they will put that on the Bad anniversary or the Thriller anniversary. I like hearing that.
Oh, me too.
I like hearing that shit. I will hope more MCs. Kendrick, to me, he kind of already operates like a jazz musician when he does the unreleased sessions. I would like to see more MCs that lean more towards the artistic side of hip hop. I would like for them to think more like jazz musicians. They should, and even original soul musicians, they should release their sessions. They should like let people do those things. Future kind of played with it with the deluxe version of Dirty Sprite 2, but he just kind of like had also Elliott Wilson when they were talking in the studio, but he put that on the deluxe album. I thought that was a little different from that pocket of music.
I hope.
But I would like for artists, rappers, to think more in those terms.
I hope like he got a lot of probably footage of that time. He needs to create. Before I even come out with my new stuff, I would put out a mini documentary of Dirty Sprite 2.
Yeah.
You know, where I was at the time, and
you can always revisit it too.
Where I'm at. And that's what I'm saying. Like people got to put some Swati in their lives. They do gotta. It's okay to repurpose your own stuff.
It's your shit.
Yeah, it's your stuff.
I mean,
you can use it as
Lucian, but it's still your shit.
you can use it as many times as you want.
Yeah, and I just think, I don't know. I just feel like rappers don't think like that. I think the soul singers, R&B artists, you need more R&B artists to do that. Actually,
I liked when Mariah Carey and Brandy
the Mariah sessions
did their own. Had Brandy collaborate with her with their own rendition of Rooftop.
Oh yeah,
that was nice.
Oh yeah, you had the different versions of Rooftop.
Yeah. So man. You got the version where Mobb Deep is rapping. Yeah. You got the solo version with Mariah Carey, and a couple years ago she did a version with Brandy.
What can we say, y'all? But these are the elements that inspire other artists. Yeah, that's why like sometimes the hip hop like media space, I'm like, I'm all right, G, y'all got it. You know, like when I hear people,
because artists aren't leading with the art right now.
Not leading with it, yeah.
And here's how media works: you either going to get them with the art, or you're going to get them with the drama. If the drama is with the heart, all right, the art, then good. You get, and you still getting the art across. But like, what was smart about Future when he was doing his crying tour about Sierra? He came back with a product. So people was like, "Oh, you gave us your best work because you was mad about
a rollout. His tears were a rollout.
You was mad about Sierra. We get it. This is why we got some of the best work from you."
Oh yeah, the Village Brothers, the deluxe versions of Brown Sugar. Yes,
in the sessions of it, yeah, that was good too.
Stevie Wonder was notorious for doing that with Intervisions and Curtis Mayfield. Of course, Whitney Houston, you know, Sade, like, you know, that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up, Village Brother. When they used to say deluxe, bro, it was 7 new songs.
Also,
like
that
they say deluxe, it's like half a new song. That's too.
Artists' egos about getting outshined. What I do love about Dolly Parton, I love the fact that when we talk about Whitney Houston, and she gave her song for Whitney to sing. Yes. And Whitney like knocked it out of the fucking universe, right?
It's her song now.
And every time people bring it up, like to Dolly Parton, so like, you know, how do you feel about Whitney's rendition of your song? She's like, that's why I gave it to her. I mean, that's why I wanted her to sing my song, even though I'm a popular artist myself, I wanted Whitney to sing my song because I knew she would do something amazing with it.
You know what's crazy?
There wasn't no ego there.
Well, but saying that goes back to the writer, director, and producer mindset. So, like for instance, I'll just say in an auditorial sense, what I do like about Kanye West, he uses people's textures of their voices like paintbrushes. So, late registration, when you have, I always knew that someday they'll try to bring me down, way down. You needed somebody's voice like Brandy. It's strong, it's powerful, but it's very vulnerable at the same time.
It's sultry. Yeah.
It was reflecting his lyrics. Or like
Jamie Foxx.
Like even sometimes
even how he used Jamie Foxx, but he also made it comedy.
Yes,
because Jamie Foxx is a comedian.
Right.
He said, so "Got a dark skinned chick, look like Michael Jackson, got it like," and all that. So knowing where to
put the voices, right? Okay, Dolly Parton. Okay, when you be around like writers, they'll say, I got the perfect song for this person. I need to use their voice because it's an instrument to them. They're not thinking like, that's my song, I'm going to sing it. They'll say they wrote a song that only Whitney could sing. Or they wrote a song and Prince was funny. Somebody he says, Prince, I got the perfect song for you. He turned him away. He says, I write my own songs.
Yeah.
Right? That's just how he was, right?
But if you are a good singer, you can sing one of my songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, even they bringing up even with Nicki on Monster. Yeah, Nicki Minaj hit it out the park. That's why it's a legendary verse on.
Even if it's just a situation where this is where I don't know who, I think it was Sid. She brought up a comparison, and I was like, Beat Smith, Q-Tip. Like as far as a just.
Oh no, I didn't bring it up. It was Tony. Because Tony has a lot of...
Oh, yeah, shouts out to Tony,
Tony the Dome has a lot of great hip-hop conversations.
Yeah.
So he was saying for him, he put Q-Tip as a greater producer than Ye for him.
Yeah, if you're talking about strictly sonics, like if you're just talking about the instrumentation and the arrangements and the placements, things like that, I can see why Tony went with that angle. The reason why I gave it to Kanye, though, on the grander production scale, because Kanye uses people's voices like paintbrushes, even if it's just a breath and he needs the texture of a certain artist's voice to be on this atmosphere of a track, he does it all the time. Sometimes when Ye, like, look what he did with Young Jeezy, You Can't Tell Me Nothing.
Yeah, that was nice. Ha ha!
Yeah.
Wait till I get my money right.
He used Jeezy's voice like it was accentuations. Like it's just accents. That's all it was.
Something?
Very conservative, but he used enough to carry the song because everybody knew one of the muscles of Jeezy's voice was his ad libs.
Right? But even 808 Heartbreaks with also curated by T-Pain and Kid Cudi. You know, Jeezy vocals come up again. You had Wayne on there. You had a lot of different artists who have memorable moments on that album.
Yeah, it's like even the arrangement. If you think about like Illmatic is one of the most perfectly arranged hip hop albums. All right, you couldn't put AZ. AZ's a terrific MC. He's understated, but that nigga was perfect for Life's a Bitch.
Life's a bitch and then you die.
AZ already has like he has a fluttery flow. So like people, I actually hear a lot of flow schemes a lot of times of AZ in J. Cole when J. Cole was lighting up on 39. It's just that J. Cole sometimes he can flow like that, but sometimes it's a stiffer pocket he has where AZ is always like butter all the time. It's very lucid. You rarely hear AZ on very stiff, hard tracks.
Yeah, J. Cole's 50-50.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a very flow state, fluid J. Cole, and then sometimes he lyrically be more choppy with his delivery.
But when he was floating on that 39 track,
That's why so many people
yeah.
love 39 intro. He
Yeah.
was floating effortlessly.
Yeah, that nigga was reminding me of
pleased to report after many attempts.
Right.
I climbed out from the
gritty abyss.
A gritty abyss.
Yeah, that scheme.
The antonym of what's it called? The antonym of damn, what's the rest of the lyrics? Hold on. Who witty as this?
Yeah.
And then when he went forward and talked about, you know, his mind and the city he missed,
it was that
and
breathless,
and the chips and all that.
It was that breathless
NVIDIA chips. Let me go back to it.
It was that breathless pun AZ flow, right? And when you lock into a pocket like that and you are on point, you always hypnotize a listener because it's a captivating pocket to be in.
Oh, the antonym. He said the antonym of idiot. Who witty as this?
Yeah, that type of stuff will always get the listeners. Actually, someone who did that on a crazier level is what you saw Kendrick on his third verse on All Right. You get what I'm saying? So that kind of
I think they both, those two things, I think it's both equally crazy. Because I thought 39 intro was
39
phenomenal.
Intro to me, flow scheme, that's one of the strongest pockets that J. Cole activates when he does it. The thing about J. Cole,
because I like that he told a story and he was being extremely lyrical in that moment for that song. So we got a storytelling, we got top level lyricism, and all of it all packaged in one.
Well, that's why I go back to AZ.
And the production on that part of with the switch on that part of the song was really nice. But also going back to All Right, to what you said with Kendrick, which is a legendary song. And he goes and in his bag on that third verse, like what you talk about, that was crazy.
Well, it's because the only reason I'm highlighting this is just different. Some rappers, when they do that, they kind of just rhyming everything together. But one thing people will find out when you like, even if you're doing poetry, what's your theme?
That's why I like 39 intro and All Right, because he stayed.
Now, what I said about Kendrick is his vocal inflections of emotionalism that really pulls people in, right? So that really pulls people in. J. Cole was so slick on Ice on 39 intro. I saw it converted people that weren't really messing with Cole like this. And one guy, he said, damn, if the nigga was rapping like this, I would have listened to him more. He's leading into those pockets, but that production, the position, the timing of the culture, it was a perfect moment for him.
Also, X said, my dad wrote songs for Troop and also Jodeci.
Oh, shouts out to your pops in his pen game too, by the way. That's not an easy feat.
No, it's not. Those are two talented groups too.
But yeah, I think J. Cole like definitely mastered that flow. Pun was incredible when he used to get in those grooves and he would tell crazy stories. You'll see that a lot. I think sometimes with Eminem, what makes people a little jarring about it is that he can go into the pockets like that. But Eminem sounds like he's doing Scrabble sometimes. The wordplay is very random. And which is cool. There's a huge audience for that. I
get what you're saying. Eminem sometimes, and this is what Cole get in trouble from sometimes. Sometimes Eminem's too much backpack.
Yeah.
Like, and not enough story. Like when we get the Eminem show, we get everything.
Yeah, it was
he slowed down his rhyming scheme. We get a story, you know, cleaning out my closet.
Yeah.
You know, when he says, have you ever been protested or demonstrated against? I have.
Yeah.
You know, and then he go, wicked time for my wicked rhymes. Look at the time. Like that's, I don't know why. That album was the only album where he slowed the fuck down. We got a moment on the Eminem show when he did Stand.
Yeah.
That's like but on the Eminem show, we got that throughout the entire album.
Where and again, I want to be clear when I say this because I don't want people to go too far. When you hear these names in this order, it's not in a sequential order, okay? Tupac, Eminem, and Kendrick are some of the most powerfully emotive orators on the microphone. One of the things that stands out on Cleaning Out My Closet is Eminem's emotionalism. that he's reeling from his childhood of
I'm
rage
sorry,
and anger.
Mama.
Right. You
I
know,
never meant to hurt
great
you.
vocal performance. That's one of his
I
best
never
vocal
meant to
performances.
make you cry, but tonight I'm cleaning out my closet.
you
He's
think about
basically
it-
saying, I'm cleaning out the debris,
Yeah.
the emotional trauma.
Yeah.
It's time for me to clean out my closet.
And the genius of his writing with that is that he's singing a goodbye lullaby to his mother.
Yes.
The song
He's burying a grave for the most. He's like R.I.P.
But the roles are reversed. I'm singing you a lullaby to sleep, but your sleep is death.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
And then yes.
You get what I'm saying?
So it's a fabulous
jokes about Eminem,
song.
but if you ask me to break his shit
Oh,
down.
now Lee sent his clips. He said we give.
No, it's the truth. It's Eminem. No. We're not gonna do that now. There's other criticism of the Wiggle.
Our criticism of Eminem remains.
Yeah.
But we've always said the Eminem show.
That's his best shit.
That's his best album ever.
Nobody says.
That is a really good.
That's a classic album for him.
Classic hip hop album.
But him.
There's not one skip on that album.
When I heard it, the theme of it, I said, yo, he's singing a lullaby to his mother to sleep, but her sleep is death, but he's also like supposedly shedding this shit too. But his vocal performance, Tupac's vocal performance on Hit 'Em Up, Kendrick's vocal performance, that's another level of MCing. It's not just that you just rhyming, just be rhyming.
Tupac, even when we talk about Brenda Got a Baby.
Yeah.
When we talking about even what we got with Illuminati.
Yeah.
You know,
just like Daddy.
Or even the creepy stuff that people, because people always talk about that creepy song from Tupac.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Enemies. Listen to what he said. I got a story to tell you.
Right.
About the ghosts of the Eve.
I'm not a killer, but don't test me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
activate my hate. Like the staccato he's using is a campfire spooky story style.
It is. Right? It's like you're at a campfire. You're like, yo, what the fuck is this? The fire's crackling.
You sound like a pastor.
You hear
flesh of my flesh.
You hear a voice behind you, but you can't see it.
Yeah. And then if you listen to how DMX was rhyming, there's a little bit of Hail Maryism in there, but DMX always had what was different from him and Tupac, because they always get compared together. They were only 1 year apart. Just X lived longer. DMX always had sick, dark, violent humor in a different way. This is why
and a bit of comedy.
Yeah, right. The comedy, right?
He would have a dark comedy angle to it, even when he created the character Damien.
Yeah.
Hey, little nigga, like hey, go ahead and smoke it. Go ahead and drink it.
Yeah. Like, okay, he said they got a ribbon for you at the top of the stair. I was there. You didn't die at the top of the stair.
Yeah, like DMX was a funny nigga. Like even with Party Up and all that,
You whack, you twisted, your girl's a hoe.
Your whole crew stupid.
You be like, so
I love my baby mama. I'll never let her go.
That's what I'm saying. Like when we talk about lyrics, like it's not that you can just rhyme words together. How effective are you as a communicator? Can you communicate comedy, humor, dark satirical themes, dark emotions, light emotions? Just the emotion of feeling rich. One thing that Mace used to do on Harlem World for people, he made anybody feel like they was a pretty boy.
That's what one song that I did like from J. Cole is the Neighbor song. Yes. They said the neighbors say I'm selling dope.
That was a good song.
Said, I don't want to talk to the president. Yeah. I don't want to talk to the man.
Yes.
Like that's like
Yeah,
no.
That's
like people want real emotions from artists.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. They want to hear not only the parts of themselves where they put on the cake, but the part of themselves that are vulnerable.
Yeah.
Even when you get the Big Stepper, Mr. Brown, the Big Steppers, and when Kendrick talked about his uncle being an aunt.
Yeah. That was it was an unexpected twist in narration. Like I'm glad you brought this up. The reason why Kendrick's a funny nigga to me, creatively as a writer, is when he said, what was the one song where they got the siren going off in the background? But he said, let a nigga touch my woman, let a nigga touch my mama, I'm killing them, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then he telling homie in the middle of the song, all right, I gotta go. And then he goes like this, all right, children, let's talk about gun violence. That shit made me laugh. But when you see DMX, Eminem, Lauryn Hill was doing it, even with her verses on, people forget how conceptual her verses were on the score. She had the most powerful verses. The only other person I saw keep up with Lauryn Hill on the mic on the score was Raw Digger when they did their little collab track together. You get what I'm saying? But I don't even like the idea that MCs and rappers don't really use their voices like what Nas does a great job. Biggie Smalls, like it don't feel like a movie anymore. Like when Biggie opens up on Somebody's Got to Die, and he's got this whole thing about killing some random guy named Jason, right? And they got the sound effects in the background, the production. It feels like you're there.
That's why I love when artists stay in their strengths. Yeah. I don't like it when they try to be other people and it fails.
Right.
Like even when we're talking about Drake does the best when he does relationships or introspections about his own emotions. So like even on the Scorpion album when he did Emotionless,
right?
He talked about being emotionless and feeling emotionally numb while pouring out your emotions, right?
Right.
And when he talked about he don't know if he's going to be able to make it out this industry clean, obviously not.
Right.
But the whole point of the song is also looking at his transformation of where he was before, who he is now, also his struggle of wanting to be liked by everybody.
Yeah.
And people might not even care about me until I'm gone. And then also thinking about when times were more simpler. This is why a lot of people got to stop playing themselves out of position.
I actually think
you gotta do what your it factor is. And I don't know why people feel peer pressured into thinking going out of what makes you or makes you the more best version of you is a great idea to prove something to people who don't even like you.
Sometimes critics are assholes. Sometimes people have a thing of getting at a certain artist. Like, give you another example from that Eminem show era, Sin. What's the song? Y'all remember Slim Shady got a song, Say Goodbye to Hollywood.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic track to show you what it's like to be on the other side of the or show you what it was like to be on the other side of the behind the music culture, the behind the Britney Spears culture. He was showing you the ugly side of the MTV Hollywood culture.
Also, Triple X was definitely emotionally charging.
I heard
vocal capabilities too.
Yeah, I heard X's. I think it was in 2017. I had heard one of his mixtapes online. And I said, yo, this boy is a lot of emotions here. And the fact that you're able to express and channel that emotion orally, where you're able to make people feel what you're feeling. People don't understand that's a very powerful transmutable gift. It's actually what really worked for Tupac. That's why he kind of got the lady sings the blues template that he got, because Billie Holiday was like that.
But that's why I think some people were definitely not got in the right situation. Like when he was on some platforms, he was like, yo, Tupac ain't even close to me or like what I do or whatever. It's like you have to listen to what people are aligning yourself towards. Like, so anytime you are being have some similarities to Tupac, that's a compliment. I'm talking about as an artist. We're not talking about what's going on in his personal life, right. Just as an artist. And even though X, he sung, he was also into branching out into instruments. I think a lot of people was trying to tell him at the time that you have all of these different components that if done right, you can really blend them together in a very masterful way.
Antarctica, and that's a great point, Stan. Antarctica says X's aggressive and melodic music challenged my approach to vocalizing and energy channeling, considering how much I fuck with it. Yeah, one of his like, okay, I'll give you an example, Sid. Like what you brought up about being comparable to a particular artist before you. And as artists, a lot of times our ego can be wrapped up in the vanity of our art too, because we feel we are different, and we are different. So somebody says, man, you know what, bro, you could be a tap dancer, right? I'm talking about traditionally, classically trained tap dancers. Somebody comes up to you and you like, man, just some of your elements remind me of Savion Glover. And some people will be like, bro, don't compare me to nobody. And he was like, no, go look at his old videos. Some of the elegance and the glide and the styles that you got going on there, right? Not a big thing, right? You're supposed to take that in. You know, everybody's influenced by somebody, right? But even what you said about
I don't get upset when people be sometimes once in a while be saying, "Oh, Boondocks." I'm like, oh, I mean,
yeah, that is true.
I mean,
it is what it is, right? But I get why Antarctica is saying that and why Sim is bringing up, and I understood. And some people that were really hardcore Pac fans, they got offended, and I was like, they're not saying he's replacing Tupac.
No. Tupac fans only got mad because people were trying to, you know how when Brandy talked about how Clive Davis was instigating between her and you had people who was instigating. So then X got mad and said some not nice comments about Tupac. So then Tupac fans got defensive, and then you know they went and.
When I heard, it's funny they said that, because when I heard X when he did the song Riot, and then the guy comes on at the end and sound like Alec Jones, and I hate the Jews. He did that whole speech. But a part of X's energy did remind me of elements from Tupac, Only God Can Judge Me. We be shocked as hell when they let them white boys free, right? And how, you know, just kind of that raging energy, unbridled rage. And you don't really get too much of that.
Cool Knox said X never liked Pac. I'm gonna keep it real.
Well, yeah, the reason why, and listen, and artists, they do have that. You know, not every artist is going to like every other artist that came before them. I don't get tripped out about that. I've seen that all the time, right? Prince early on had to really push to distinguish himself from Jimi Hendrix, because racist rock and roll outlets were saying, oh, you know, he's the second coming of Jimi.
Jimi Hendrix and Prince sound nothing alike.
Nothing alike.
They don't sound nothing alike.
They don't even play the same style of guitar.
They both are amazing, but they don't sound nothing alike.
And I think one's a righty and one plays lefty, right? So you know, early on, but one thing I did like seeing that Prince was able to do, because he was able to mature and grow older, unlike, unfortunately, with rap where they get cut down so early. So X didn't really have that moment where he could reflect about what he said on Tupac. Prince said,
no, that's some racist.
I know.
That's some racist cracker shit to say.
I know.
Because it's like so funky.
Yeah.
Jimmy and Prince sound nothing alike.
Jimmy had funk elements.
They're both. No, I'm talking about they stink. The white people.
I get you. My bad.
That's funky because anybody, even with average ears, even if you're not a musician, know that Jimi Hendrix and Prince don't sound alike at all.
They just see two blackies.
Yeah.
Well, guess what Prince said later on? He had an interview. I read about it one time, because he was just doing like, you know, written interviews. And he said, like, for instance, him growing up and understanding that he might have been a little bit too hard when they compared him to Jimmy, because he said he was so focused on
say something negative about somebody else. Yeah,
because they remember they used to tell racist white rock and roll heads, you would act out job.
When you know you're not even trying to be like Jimi Hendrix, nor do your styles even sound alike.
Yeah, and Jimmy actually, he has a lot of soul and composition in his music versus just like he's just pure rock and roll on fire. You listen to his cuts, a lot of times Angel Wings and shit, these are all blues records.
Jimi Hendrix had a lot of blues and jazz mentors before we even go into his solo career. He talked about all the different you know, masters of what they do who was a part of their bands. He was, a background musician before he goes forward and has his grand solo career.
No, you're right about that. And unfortunately,
are we buffering again?
Well, he said y'all.
Oh, we're good now. Oh, and one other thing, because people probably be surprised. They'd be like, "Yo, how he was around so many people, and then he dies at 27." Back then, especially in Black American culture, people forget if you were an 8-year-old and you play, you 10 years old, you know how to play.
They're putting you on stage.
They're putting you in the band.
Yeah.
So even a young Miles Davis was at a very young age. He was already doing music. Yes, so then by the time, when even as a teenager, Jimmy was performing with James Brown, and Lil Richard. So then by the time, this guy is like 19, 20, he already...
Well, you guys can go back.
He already going and knowing what to do for himself.
One of the Isley brothers said, what's his name? The one I think is it Ernest? The one that's on the guitar with Ron Isley. You usually see him with his brother. But I think it's Ernest Isley. I could be wrong. Y'all let me know in the chat.
You can also look on your iPad. Or your computer.
You can do it yourself, Sid. All right. You got one right there.
So
a little shady, but
it's not shady. I was just like,
oh, Ernie, thank you. I was right, Sid.
I was just saying, I was like, why you? I was just.
She always does that.
I was like,
oh, Prince.
I was
what's
like,
the name? Come on, Chad.
Why you I was like, why you panhandling?
Chad. Chad, is we chatting? What's the name of the girl that was in the movie?
I'm not on the phone. I can't go look on the phone.
All I said was his name Ernie.
I was just saying, if you're not sure, you got the laptop right there.
Now you trying to make me forget my point.
Okay, go ahead. What's your point when you talk about the Isley brothers?
Okay, so Ernie said he talked about when they first, were running into Jimi Hendrix. Mm-hmm. It's all good, love. But that guy is a fantastic guitarist. All right. He said when he heard Jimi Hendrix sing, he said something otherworldly. Ron said this boy is going to be big.
He has very haunting vocals.
Yeah. So, and Prince said later on in the interview, he said, he might have been a little bit borderline too disrespectful, but he said they were antagonizing him so much. Remember, he got called, what was it, Rolling Stones? The Rolling Stones, they tried to bring him out on stage and the audience was calling Prince nigger and shit. So he early on coming through the rock and roll.
White people saw him as a threat because they were very antagonistic to Prince because Prince did every musical style you could think of.
Yeah.
He did almost. Like, he'll do R&B, he'll do funk, he'll do pop rock, he'll do rock. Like, he did everything. And vocally, he did everything. So he did glam. So
what he did at the Hall of Fame with rock and roll, because they had this list of the top 100 guitarists. And I think if I recall, they either rated him very low or they negated him. And then some of the rock and roll heads said Prince was an all right guitarist. Far from the truth. Now, Prince will tell you, he was an all right pianist. You get what I'm saying? But he said when it comes to the guitar, y'all can't son me with my guitar. Now, Prince said it himself because people got offended. I can't remember what artist said. Prince was a decent good pianist. And somebody, they had a backlash from the Prince. I said, Prince said it himself, he was a decent pianist. But he said on the guitar, I can't be fucked with on the guitar.
Yeah. Prince played a lot of different instruments.
I think 61 or something like that.
He said when it came to your point, he said when it came to the guitar, nobody could fuck with him.
He said we're not gonna do that.
He said ain't nobody. He even said he was better than the cracker from the Rolling Stones, which he is to me.
Yeah. So
what's his name? Keith.
Oh.
I'm doing the same thing you did. What's his name?
Oh, no, Sid. Don't clean it up now. Don't clean it up now, Sid. Oh. Are you panhandling? Nah, like I do miss when artists kind of dug into them spaces like that, But we'll see where they go. I mean, Kendrick does a good job. To your point, it would be nice to see if J. Cole has any fall off sessions.
It would be nice. Hopefully, we'll have an album from Kendrick Lamar.
And then J. Cole
this year.
Fall off.
Lucy's. There's like a standard in Black women. Prince got it. He got it.
Is it? That was so random. I said she's trolling now. But
the trolling backfired.
No, I do feel I'm not saying we don't have like creative artists, but I do feel they can be more creative.
Also, Lee said Kendrick believes that Kendrick is recording a rock album. We'll see what happens with that.
What makes him believe that? Because it's interesting because
a couple people said, even people on Exit, they think he might be going with a rock album, but I'm not 100% sure.
It's interesting because he has been tapped into some of that grungier sound though. So we'll see where it goes.
Maybe he could be foreshadowing that because of his recent collaborations with Playboy Cardi.
Yeah. Grunge trap.
And it's one of the areas where people think he's the least capable. So that would be interesting. Like an interesting musical challenge for him. Because for people who wondering why I say that, there were a lot of people who felt were saying that they thought Playboy Cardi and Kendrick just don't have chemistry like that together. So if he does do a rock album or a hip hop rock album and it is really good, then people will be like, well, then he can damn near do anything in hip hop and
I could see
knock it out of the park.
I could see that. I think what Denzel Curry has been doing for the last 8 or 9 years, and that Tia Kareem joint with ASAP, Ferg now, because he dropped ASAP, especially all of the sperm semen stuff. But the Scythe joint, I think. But I already told you they're going. The industry was going in that direction because I saw it like 3-4 years ago. I said I think this is the direction we're going to be heading in. So but what Denzel Curry, this definitely would have been 100% X's and Juice WRLD's era.
Also, they bring up Inuyasha. I love Inuyasha.
Yeah.
Even though B-More always be like, Inuyasha, he looked like he stink. That's like, but Inuyasha, he started taking baths later in the series.
The stray cat. It says Amina died rage. Well, he does have the vocal capability because he has a very dexterous voice, Kendrick. So we'll see. But either way, we'll just see what goes on with it. But I do think artists should be challenging themselves. I do say that's what I said about what we got recently. I did see vocally J. Cole was challenging himself more, and you could tell he had a vocal coach because where he was holding his notes were longer than he normally does.
I didn't like all the singing.
Yeah.
But I like the singing on the 39 intro.
Yeah.
I liked some of the singing. But he's been singing for a while. Like even when he was singing on
for a moment.
He was on For Your Eyes Only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see who else y'all got. Oh, what are you talking about? You're talking about Amy Winehouse. I think Rico Nasty has done a good job in that space.
I feel like sometimes she get overlooked too much. I don't even like the sexism in the like.
I like Rico Nasty.
The hip grunge space is too it's too gay for me. Because like, we had grunge ladies even in and then we also talk about punk rock. How some of these people are just too gay. Like I like Rico Nasty.
Yeah.
Like some of the people, they just be like, yo, I just like Uzi Vert. I just like Playboy Cardi. No, she's really good.
No, she is.
Rico Nasty. I even liked her when she featured on Schoolboy Q's Blue Lips album. Well,
the 27 Club area, that was something that, you saw being played up in the 70s when you had a lot of prominent artists dying at 27. Ironically, Jimi Hendrix was one of them. And then you also saw people like later on, Uzi Vert. He was flirting with it, that he wanted to be a part of the 27 club. They were the nigga was about to turn 27.
All my friends are dead.
Yeah, when he turned 27, he said, "Oh no, he don't be a part of it." But going back to what you said about Rico, Rico to me, every feature she had, to me, she stole the show. She got bars, she has energy, she has personality, she has star appeal. I just think, to your point, I think it's biased. It's kind of like how they did the mother of grunge, Tina Bell. They were talking about.
I do feel like sometimes they try to Tina Bell her, yeah.
Yeah, and I just feel like that's a wave that the industry boys are heading towards now. And I think
Destroy Lonely in them, yeah.
Yeah, and I think they're going to try to give everybody with bigger names the credit versus what Rico, and even on the other end of it and out of Florida, what Denzel Curry had been doing and curating as well. I don't like how they play artists like Rico Nasty and even Denzel Curry. I never liked it, but
they do be trying to play him too, yeah.
Yeah. Because he even said when he came out, and I don't know, y'all. I just think it's some weird stuff. But yeah, Rico Nasty, the industry is going to be trying to get into that space. You're going to see a big name artist drop an album over there, and then they're going to say, this is the artist that brought this sound back. So, kind of off the hook. Let me see what else is. The Raider says, yo, that new Denzel. Yeah, Denzel's fire. Niggas get the site. Yeah. Yeah, Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Cobain, River Phoenix, all a part of the 27 Club. Y'all saw Doja Cat was flirting around with the 27 Club when she dressed up like she was going to an Illuminati party at 27.
What happened to your girl, Doja Cat?
What do you mean?
What happened to your girl?
I'm looking at mine. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. That girl got Nazi feet in her mouth. And, she lost that backside a long time ago. She got rid of the juicy. See, now we didn't pay attention to her no more. Sam was like, well, there ain't no reason to look at her.
No, I mean, I don't know.
Ass is going.
Her music was fun. I just don't know, what the vibe she went into later. Just
when she cut her eyebrows, I said,
it didn't make no sense.
Yeah.
But then I see online, like, her and her South African dad, they keep getting into fights with each other. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, nah, we done. We done. I don't know what NLE.
NLE Chopper.
The visuals are pretty crispy, but I don't know what he doing.
He ain't doing the visuals though, so I ain't giving him no credit for that.
I don't know what.
Unless people.
Directing.
If he did it, then I'll give him credit. But musically, bro sucks.
Yeah, like
bro sucks, man.
I'm like, what is NLE Chopper doing? It almost feels like he should be in the veteran stage of his athletic career.
Yeah, for her it was weird. She had like this Adult Swim humor.
Mixed with all
like
that.
Moo and all that. She was like fun. Then all of a sudden she just became like, she's someone who she didn't make no. I didn't know why she went to the industry. It didn't make no sense. You was an independent artist. You was doing well. Like, I don't get it. I don't get why people who be popular, independent, still going to mainstream. Like, it don't make no sense to me.
I get what you're saying.
Because it's really hard for an independent artist to be seen. So if you get seen, why the fuck are you going into the mainstream? Mainstream will dry up all your energy. It will eat off your body. Like, you get drained. Be like a dried up prune.
No, you're not wrong. I just feel Doja Cat was doing too much to turn people off. And people was trying to fight for her like that dog outside. Like, yeah. And even when City Girls was like, we riding with Doja, I said, they don't care, niggas. Like, I just think Doja Cat. Now, but to your point, Sin, though, where the bias comes in at. Now, even though Doja did what she did, okay, with them Aryan toenail clippings in her mouth. All right, whatever kink you into, ladies, that's on you, right? I felt like she got more backlash than Tyler though during his heyday.
But my thing is because when she went to the dark, I thought she was going to go into dark comedy,
right?
Like the Addams Family, not really be all angry and shit. Like, come on.
You know, she was a member. Yeah, So I think Doja has a very funny and nice cartoony voice. But
she has a really nice, playful voice.
But I just don't think her material has been as fun as it was with her first two projects. It's been kind of serious and dark. Like when she was dressed up, it was like the Red Satan shit on the green grass. I said, "Oh, come on, man!" Like.
Also, DeBlaze said she didn't have white boy backing. I do agree, DeBlaze, that's what she wanted. Ye has white boys backing him.
All types of shit.
He got a lot of weirdo
blood,
white boys. I think Doja Cat underestimated the type of audience she has. I think she had everybody, and so she wanted the white boys, but the white boys ain't following Doja Cat. Doja Cat had gay people, black people.
She had a lot of black people.
Women. That's who she had. She
you know what it reminds me
ain't of? No white guy be like, yo, go put on Doja Cat unless he's gay.
Yeah. The other side of it with the boys, because it wasn't that Tanashi, remember when she cut up the first go round? And I was like, Tanashi blamed the black community for why her second album didn't do it. Moving around in Atlanta, I heard people playing Tanashi, especially with Schoolboy Q shit. Look, it's what we said. They just don't know. They don't know their brand. They don't know it.
Doja Cat did not understand her audience.
No.
All the straight guys who listened to Doja Cat were not white men.
No.
Black men, Hispanic men, like they liked her look and her vibe. And then she had women and gay people, right? Then she tried to do a Ye, and she was trying to get the white boys, like all types of white boys, to like her because she likes them, and they didn't bite.
I thought Doja Cat at the very least was gonna be like in the Eric Andre space.
That's what everybody thought. She was gonna be Eric Andre, light comedy, dark comedy,
right?
But
we didn't know she was shooting for Nick.
We didn't know she was trying to get the Nick Fuentes shit.
Because at first when people was getting on, I was like, well, maybe it's because she got a white boyfriend. I don't know, right? But then I saw, what was it? You showed me the didn't do nothing stuff. The didn't do nothing. I said, come on, nigga, stop it. All right. He says here, I disagree with Prince when said there wouldn't be a Sexy Red without Cardi B. Sexy Red is the original American. There's nobody without her. I get what you're saying as far as culturally what Cardi is tapping into with Black Americanism. But I'm saying in terms of industry, where things go after Cardi B for that sector, that brand of women in rap, because you got Rhapsody as a woman in rap, you got other elements as well, but that right there, no, that's clearly post Cardi in the industry.
Also, I would say the difference between Tyler the Creator and Doja Cat, black people fucked with Doja Cat from the beginning.
Yeah.
Black people did not fuck with Tyler the Creator from the beginning.
No, man.
And by the time he started making music that all black people like, we didn't know about his beginnings. Like, I didn't know he put on no Klan hoodie and shit. That's the mistake that Doja Cat made. That's what I was saying. The white boys love Tyler the Creator, right?
The gay ones and the straight ones.
Right. So when Doja Cat come out, she wasn't doing Klan hoodie music. She was doing like Nickelodeon, Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, R&B, pop, rap music, right?
She actually had a lot of a lot of animators.
Yeah, she doing
artists was into her.
She doing Tina and Tamara, Sister, Powerpuff Girl stuff. What Tyler did, Tyler was doing glue sniffing edgelord pro-white music at the beginning.
Pro-white, pro-gay white.
Pro-gay white, right. Yeah. All white male type stuff.
All type of shit.
Prince and I wasn't there for that.
No.
When Tyler started doing music with Erykah Badu and started to do like black music that we fuck with, that's when we listened to him. So that's when people last year showed he was selling Klan hoodies and shit. Yeah. I was like,
I was shocked. Because I know he did some edgelord goblin cockroach shit, but I didn't know he went into gay white dom shit. I didn't know he went into
when Doja did, she had everybody on board with her. Then she did the Nazi feat, and then she kept going further with other shit. Then that's when she lost us. She lost everybody. I'm like, girl, what the fuck is this?
Well, now here's the other side of it though. One thing Doja, at that time, there were a lot of people that were introduced to Rico Nasty off that Tia Tamera shit.
Yeah.
That was a fire track. I thought they were going to do more shit together.
I thought so too.
Man, that's a funny dope ass video to me.
In the mirror.
The beat was hard, and they both were barring up on each other.
The beat was hard.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it felt like if the Powerpuff Girls was gonna rap.
Yeah, it felt like evil Powerpuff Girls, scamming ass Las Vegas Powerpuff Girls.
So like, I thought it was dope, and like remember. Like we, black women also in music, like we hip hop music, we like to hear fun stuff because it was also giving you a throwback to Supersonic.
Yeah.
Supersonic, like it's like some fun, like chill.
Yeah, it goes back to the salt and
chill
pepper,
black girls, salt and pepper type stuff.
The fly jackets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the girls with the fly jackets that are also nerds.
I ain't gonna lie, when she was doing that, I was like, damn. I said, I guess Doja a cornball. So I gotta move on. No, girl, I'm not here to debate whether you fuck with black men or not. I'm not even here to have the conversation. I'm moving on. And that's what my mindset was. It's like when Kanye was doing all of that Nazi shit, I said, Shawty, I gotta move on.
You better stop, Prince Strategy King don't want to hear that.
Oh, he ran right now because him and Ye about to go to Japan or something. Yeah, JJ Fad. Yes. Yeah. People forget about all of that. But, I don't know. I know there's a space. I know there's an audience there's angsty, quirky, black boy, black girl humor. I just think we can do without the self-hatred, though. That's all I'm saying. I don't mind it. It's not that people going to be quirky. We all weird somewhere. But it's just sometimes like we told y'all 2010.
Like Tyler the Creator does
09 to 2012 was the great Sambo era of hip hop.
He does edgelord music that I like now.
Right.
Like when he did his recent album.
Yeah.
The recent albums he did.
Yeah.
But like
Homocopia was dope. That was dope. It was a fantastic rollout.
Even the album that came out before that was dope.
Yeah.
I am not into. Look, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not into the I'm not into the slave play gay porn culture.
No.
Not into that type of music. So like the early stuff that I didn't see from Tyler the Creator when he was doing slave play gay porn music, I wasn't into that.
You know what?
And for those who know it's like where
it's
like
that Cherry Bomb album he did.
You like
an album called Cherry Bomb.
It's like where you got like a black dude trying to be a bottom while eating watermelon, some shit like that. I'm not into that. So like his early work, not my cup of tea at all.
Well, I remember somebody was telling me, it was like, yo man, if you like MF Doom, you will listen to Earl Sweatshirt. So I heard some songs with Earl Sweatshirt just by himself. I was like, oh no, he can rap. He got like this gravelly voice. He got these interesting couplet and triplets in his rhyme scheme. So I was like, okay. So then I heard I think he had like a tape with Tyler. This was the first time I had to listen to like a Tyler, like an actual Tyler song during that Cherry Bomb era. And it just felt like if Uncle Ruckus was trying to rap like Eminem. And you know what? And I was like, you know what? That's for somebody. That's all of them like them, insane clown posse type people. Because the Game was messing with that energy a little bit when he put them contacts in his eyes and he was rapping on the track with Tyler off the Red album. Because because Game's so big, people don't know he got a lot of Tyler in him though.
Like the Game is got too much of a nigga face to be doing all that.
I know, but he does it.
And he's too big too. Like you look like a regular nigga. Like
I'm a zombie eating niggas' brains. Like a girl giving me brains. I'm deranging the range.
It's like, bro,
I pull the blade brains out in the rain.
What are we doing, bro? Like what are we doing?
I'm a motherfucking Martian. I think the guy that walked that line the best, like that very thin line the best, I think would always be Tech Nine.
Tech Nine is the only one who did it right.
He's the only nigga.
No, I'm glad you brought up Tech Nine. We gotta give Tech Nine his flowers because he knew how to be edgy without it going into weird slave play, race play energy. Cause some of the other ones who be going in Tech Nine lane, they make it weird.
They go right into race play.
They
lay it right into race play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah. And Tech Nine usually has some of the more creative videos. What was the joint? Mental Giant, and he had the whole Wizard of Oz thing.
Yeah.
He's a mental giant. Yeah, but I'm not trying to fight everybody that tries to do what Tech did. And they black, it always goes into a space I'm not interested in.
Yeah, Hobson, oh God, he was bad at it too. Yeah. God, he was so trash.
So I try not to, I don't. There was a whole era. You had Hobson, you had Tyler the Creator, early Logic, because it was when
middle of Logic career. Early Logic, he didn't sound like that.
Well, I just know the era where it was his biraciality was the focus, and
it became later in his music because when he had his early Frank Sinatra series or whatever, he was a backpack lyrical rapper. So he just kept it on there, and then when he had his first debut album, he kind of was sounding like all the people he liked, like Kendrick and all that. And then bro just got weird, bro. He just got weird.
The only reason why I say that, again, I felt like Logic's plight as a biracial person, I said that'll be probably for someone else. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna go over to the next person. But no, people don't give Tech Nine and Strange Records the credit. Like even when they had CRIMEZ Calico, I know I think he retired or he quit. But CRIMEZ Calico, when you saw him, and I think he suffered from vitiligo because he had like the vitiligo spot by his eye. You saw him, he looked wild as hell, but he had this very powerful voice.
Oh,
but he had a very powerful, like, opera voice. But I think, my personal opinion, Tech and Strange, I think they did the alternative sound or the alternative presentation in contemporary time. I still think they did it the best.
I really do miss the people who really kept it 100 in that independent scene. Yeah. MF Doom was definitely a leader in that, Tech Nine.
Yeah. Technician.
We also had people like, Brother Ali and the rest of them and all that. It's man.
Yeah, no, you're right about that, Sid. And man, listen, man, it's just what it is. And the man can rap his ass off, right? What was the joint, the old school joint, Einstein? The energy behind that song. Dun, 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 dun. Casey. Oh yeah, shouts out to Kansas City, Missouri too, man. Casey Mo. People don't give Casey Mo the credit it deserves for what it's contributed to the blues and even hip hop as far as the independent scene goes too. But yeah, man. I don't really see too much of that, That's another person that also had an influence on Kendrick. They got a joint together where they traded bars back and forth. And then you had Man, Tech then got on some tracks and M and smoked the shit out of Eminem.
He made me laugh when some white woman was antagonizing him, like, you Eminem the same. And he was like, the difference between me and him is I can say nigga, bitch.
That was funny.
He made me laugh. That
was funny. Yeah, because
like such person, a stupid ass up.
You would say that. She would say that. You know, but for some of those people, some of those people, it revolves around their world would have revolved around Eminem. All right. Let me see what else y'all got.
Don't Tap the Glass was creative. I thought it like paying homage to LL Cool J, stuff like that. It was nice.
It took a minute for people to pick up on what he was doing, though.
Oh,
when he had the big feet on, they said he tried to be like Ludacris.
So what? If he's inspired by Ludacris and LL Cool J and Def Jam.
Yeah.
But all right, I'm ready to go relax now. Is there anything?
We both rubbing our hands together. Let's do it together.
Is there anything you want to say to the people before we head off?
I can get over to our Patreon. We'll continue to have some more stuff posted. You guys take it easy. Today's what, Sunday, son?
Easter Sunday.
Happy Easter to you all.
Oh, happy days. Oh, happy days. You supposed to be doing the background vocals for me.
Oh, well, let's go. And I'm hungry, too. I am very hungry. You see how I supported you saying this black man was hungry for how many hours we've been on here?
Wipe my tears away. And
happy day.
You supposed to come with a deep voice. Oh, happy day.
Oh, happy day.
All right, everyone. Peace out.
All right, y'all.